Hello, welcome, everyone. My name is Matthew Eads,
Just cold like that, eh?
host of the podcast. I can't play the music. Well,
Yeah,
I can. Where's my phone? I could get maybe I could play it off my phone and
So we could rock out.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to the
cold.
ManaTank Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Eads. March the 9th, 2014. Joined today by Kevin Byer.
Hey, everybody watching and listening over
Eric
the
Peterson.
internet.
Oh, hang on. Eric Peterson.
I'm still on baby alert.
So
And-
you could disappear at any moment during the show, is what you're saying.
I told Christy's leaving to go get a pedicure, and I said only call me if the baby is coming out. So if my phone rings, baby's coming out.
That's exciting.
That's
stressful.
crazy.
How does
Still
Baby
baby
Watch
list.
make you feel, Oliver Aguilar?
It's Baby Watch, more like Death Watch.
Yeah.
Making sure that thing doesn't kill itself.
Oh, it'll probably. There's a pretty high chance of that in my house.
What was that syndrome you were talking about the other time? Sudden baby death syndrome?
SIDS.
SIDS.
Infant death syndrome.
SIDS.
And basically, the best way to prevent that is don't lay the baby on their face.
Our next charity event should be
SIDS.
Raising money.
SIDS research.
Gaming for SIDS.
SIDS sounds fucked up, alright? I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but maybe
It
we
is.
shouldn't be joking about this.
Yeah, maybe.
There's probably some parents out there who have,
Yep,
had some bad
parents out there
times.
that
They're
definitely
gonna
listen to our podcast.
call
and
in
had
and...
issues with SIDS.
There's a few dads listen to our podcast.
I think that's right.
It's people who are just unable to let go of the past. They're still
I
trying
always-
to relive
I-
that childhood.
I always just think that our demographic are like 12-year-old boys,
Yeah, it's a
Which is
stigma.
always-
that's
which is
our
always so weird when you
That's
think
what-
of like weird 30-year-old men.
that's
Well,
what we in
that's-
the biz call our target demo.
That's the demographic. That's the only demographic that I actually think listens to podcasts. So
I listen to podcasts all the time.
I know
man.
that's so
podcasts.
weird.
I don't listen to podcasts ever.
Shit, I got a bunch saved up. I got a 6-hour drive back to Edmonton. It's going to be podcast the entire way, and then hopefully part of the way back. That's what you
We
said.
introduce you to this crazy thing called music.
Nah.
What is that? Is that like a podcast without the jokes? I don't.
Yeah, it's like a podcast without the jokes, and they have a lot more instrumental breaks.
Oh, okay. I don't. Yeah, I'm never a big fan of the instrumental breaks. We don't do them anymore for a reason.
Yeah, we don't. That's crazy. We go 3 hours without a break, you guys.
I always
it's-
leave for a break.
Well,
No, you
it's
don't.
not like you go off to a next room and kind of sit around.
Yeah, I do. I go off to the bathroom, the next room, and I sit around and do my shit.
I often go to the fridge,
Aw.
but that's not a break.
Cam Skip just texted me. He feels betrayed.
Who's Cam Skip?
He's the guy who we used to do the Max and Matt Best Friends Forever stream.
Huh.
Is that
Oh.
Thursdays? Which
Is that
just sort of
officially
ended up
over?
stopping. Not officially, no. Everybody, Max wants to do it again. I don't know if I want to do it again. I think I'm the reason that it stopped.
There you go.
Yeah. Busy, man. Busy. There's so many shit games to play and just hate my life for buying them that I don't have time to do streams. I got Thief to play, all right?
Tell me about those shitty games, Matt.
I had a moment last week where I was telling you this earlier, Oliver, where I was playing Thief, and it was actually when you were talking to me about Batman, and I'm like, I didn't like the last Batman. I'm like, video games suck. Maybe I'm out. Maybe this is time to stop right now. Fucking hands up, consoles out the window. Grow the fuck up, Matt.
Cancel
And then
the
I-
Best Friends
you know.
Forever stream. Cancel the ManaTank Podcast.
Yeah. Well, and
By
then I went and
yourself.
played like 20 hours of Battlefield, so that made me feel better.
What would you
Oh.
do with your life without video games, Matt? What would a day in the life of Matt
Hard
consist of?
fucking drugs. I would start heroin.
I think Matt would take up pottery or something like that. Go
Probably
to pottery
painting.
class and just do some super weird stuff.
Glass blowing, maybe. Something
Glass
artsy.
blowing is gangster as fuck. Come on.
I almost, well, not almost. I was thinking about, you guys know what that Rosetta Stone software, that learn another language thing?
Yep.
I heard good things about that. I was thinking
There's
this week, I'm like, I got a lot of spare time. Maybe I will learn French. I've always wanted to learn French.
There's
I got all
actually
this
an
time.
app on your iPad that's free that's almost identical to it called Duolingo.
On my iPad?
Do you have an iPad?
No, sir.
Then you could use their internet website.
I like the idea of Rosetta Stone that you're like talking to a person who speaks that language, and they're
You're
like, "No, you're
not.
not doing this quite right."
No.
Isn't that the whole
No.
point of it?
No. Rosetta Stone doesn't really teach you conversational language. It just teaches you bits and pieces of it, unless you get like the super premium ultra deluxe you live in this country for 10 years edition.
I tend to do things to the super premium ultra deluxe level, legendary editions and the like. Give me
And
the
you might-
legendary edition of Rosetta Stone.
It comes with a statue of
Need
a
a
Frenchman.
statue.
Do I get any sort of art prints with this? Any lithos?
Art book and
Yeah.
a clock map.
I played some Thief.
Map of the region that you're learning the language of.
Who else played Thief this week?
I did.
I did.
Hey, Eric, did
I'm
you
really
get
sorry
yours for
we all had to
$19
go
at
through
least?
that.
I did get it for $19, and it installed, and it worked.
Sweet.
It was all 8-bit, but
That is $40 cheaper than I got mine for.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a win.
$60 I spent on that game. I made it to about chapter 2, about hour and a half in, maybe, if that.
I
And
made
I
it.
just had to stop. I just had to fucking stop.
Hold on, let me check how many hours I put. I put in 9 hours.
That's
Wow.
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 That's where he loses his $40.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to make up that. He's like, I spent $19. I gotta get 19 hours. Gotta get my money.
Gotta get that dollar to hour ratio. It's not very good. Can I hear you? What you
Thief
guys
is a
think?
fucking bad game.
No, hold on. Before we start just bashing the shit out of it.
Okay.
Okay, it's bad.
Yeah.
can't-
No, it is. It's not. It's boring as shit.
There's
no
voice
real
acting
narrative.
Sucks.
Yeah. The writing is absolutely terrible. It's buggy. It's glitchy. It doesn't run well.
The direct comparison is Dishonored, right?
Yes,
Not-
except
well,
shitty.
Yeah.
I didn't not like Dishonored at all. I actually did like Thief a lot more than I like Dishonored. So there's that. There's that.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I watched.
Wow.
Dishonored's so good. Dishonored's fine.
Nah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I don't know what it was, but like I had this exact same conversation with a guy from work, and he was like, "Yeah, well, in Dishonored, you could like blink here and there and there and there, and you can see through the walls. You can turn into rats." I'm like, man, that game actually does sound good after playing Thief for this little while, but I just didn't really like Dishonored, which is weird.
So the thing with Thief is that it is you running down these corridors, very narrow, not a ton of, even when the map opens up, it's still a very set path. Grab everything that's shiny on the way, because you're a thief, you gotta steal. There's really no motivation to be stealing everything, but you're just, grabbing like, oh, look, a spoon, scissors,
Yeah, fucking candles.
candlestick,
Scissors,
great.
yeah, like, jeez. It's not like you're duct taping that together to make a shiv.
And that's it. Like, the combat is unplayably bad. The guards are.
Well, the point
like,
of the game
AI
is to not fight.
Yeah.
That's
well,
the
then
point.
they shouldn't give you such a shitty tool set. Like, the combat is hard for the wrong reasons. It doesn't encourage you not to get into combat because, the guards are really smart and they're going to get you. It's just that when you get into combat, the controls are so shitty that I just want to throw the fucking thing.
They
across
should
the
Why
have.
you
room.
just don't get into combat.
They should have at least given you, because like your only option is to run away. But like if you get caught between these two guys and they're just wailing on you, you got really nothing to do except that shitty dodge where you dodge and you sort of don't. You get my experience with it was I dodge and I'd sort of get disoriented. And so I wouldn't know where to run away to. So then I'd end up running back into the fold. I'm like, well, great, I'm getting beat up.
There's also, the dodge mechanic is fucked up because there's no prompt, and to dodge, you're pulling L2 on the PS4 at least, and then moving the stick the direction you want to dodge.
Yep.
But there's no prompt for it at all, so a lot of times you're like, all right, I'm gonna dodge. Oh, but I did it slightly too early or slightly too late and got hit anyways.
Yeah, it's no good. They should have at least incorporated some sort of like counter mechanic where you could, an on-screen prompt where this guy's swinging, you press square or whatever, then you'll counter him, or like kind of just like parry his attack with whatever you have, and then like use that chance to kind of run away.
Hey, they're trying to make this game as realistic as is possible. You don't have prompts in real life when you're robbing people. You gotta feel the combat. You gotta know which way to dodge.
It's bad.
I went into it with a different approach than you guys. I went into it knowing that the combat's gonna blow, so I'm not even gonna try to fight. And I would always go for either the ghost or the
Predator
approach to it, where you're using the environment to your advantage. You know, you're shooting out the fires with the water arrows, you're using the choke arrows, you're knocking people out.
Even that stuff is like so basic and super boring. It's like, you have water arrows to put out torches. And that is the most complex part of it.
Yeah.
Water arrows.
The stealth is okay for what it is, but
you talk like that.
I think the stealth is brutal because the AI routines are like so stupid. The AI is just not clever. It's like walk from A to B.
I had issues where the AI would get hung up on doors. So if you'd open a door, the AI would walk by and be like, "How'd this open?" And I'd be back in the wall somewhere in the shadow, and I'd watch the guy, and he'd be just walking into the door. His feet would be sticking through it, and he'd just be walking into it eternally, and I'd have to end up resetting to a previous checkpoint because if I walked by him, he would kill me.
It's just not a well-made game. It's not fun. I guess we should really, let's start at square one. You are Garrett, the master thief, back reunited with his apprentice, whose name escapes me.
Aaron.
And the game opens up, and you gotta steal something, but then it goes bad! Oh no! And magic happens, and then you gotta steal some more stuff for a reason that
he falls asleep
never...
for how long? Like
a year? Maybe? I don't know. See, the dialogue all cut out for me on that cutscene, so I didn't know what was happening.
Speaking of dialogue, there were issues. I eventually had to put subtitles on just because the audio balancing was such shit that sometimes the music would overlay on top of the audio and cut out the audio completely. So I put subtitles on, and that's when I noticed that the subtitles didn't match entirely with what was being said. So I wonder if
that's distracting.
ESR, no, that's so you fail cert for that.
That's the thing that I remember.
And it wasn't just like a couple words here and there. It was like full extra sentences being added on.
In the dialogue or in the subtitle?
In the subtitle. So it seems like the subtitles were the original script, and then they cut it down for VO, but it doesn't match up in all spots, and it's not all over the place, but it is frequent enough to notice.
That's annoying.
It's like, what happened to Garrett too? Like, that guy used to be kind of cool. Now he's just
never known Garrett. As far as I'm concerned, he's just
like real dumb, real bad one-liners. Like, I can't even remember any of them because I just drank a 40 after to try and erase that game from my mind. Real bad stuff. Like, the dialogue, everything about that game is just really poorly put together.
It looks good.
I honestly gave it, because I knew it was getting bad reviews. Everybody was talking pretty bad about it. I tried to give it kind of like a chance. But yeah, it's like everything we've mentioned here, plus a little more. It just wasn't anything for me.
It is a bad game. It is a bad game.
For a game that's based solely around stealth, I had an issue with the AI and their ability to detect people because, and maybe this is something that's always hard to do in video games, is like true shadows and true darkness. But if you're behind a barrel 4 inches from an enemy who's looking directly at you, but as long as you're in this pocket of shadow, he can't see you. Like, shit like that just immediately took me out of it because...
That's what took you out of Thief?
Well, with the stealth.
Okay, I'm out. The stealth. No, I'm out.
But it's a game about stealth, and if the enemy AI
It's a game about stealing things, and stealing is super stupid and not fun. That's what they fucked up.
Well, it was so random. You'd be walking through the sewer, and there's a gold chalice sitting here. I'm gonna grab.
Oh, Matt, scissors, yeah!
I can sell these scissors for 3 gold.
You don't even have to sell it. It just automatically sells as soon as you
converts.
pick it up.
Really?
It's
Oh, that's
dumb.
even stupider.
It's such a shit game. There's like a real hardcore like sex scene too, which sure was great. I thought about like you can do the screen share or the broadcast stuff from the PS4. I thought about just turning my PS4 on broadcast because you can watch this sex scene forever if you want. You're like hiding in a closet and these people are going at it. I was just gonna turn on broadcast and then just leave it. Just walk away. Like leave it the whole day. Set it in the morning. Go to work. Just put quality content up on Ustream for folks to watch. It's bad. Super bad. Save your time. Save your money. It's not even worth the $19 Eric paid for it.
Is it not worth $20?
No, absolutely not.
No. If someone said, "Hey, I got this free copy of Thief. Do you want it?" Like, no, I'm cool. You keep that.
I would not purchase this on a humble bundle. Like
Neither would I. It's just it's not fun. There's nothing fun about this game. Everything is super tedious and just dumb. You don't really have any motivation to do anything. Nothing is satisfying. Even like the stealth isn't really satisfying because the guards are dumb. There's like 4 lines of dialogue for the entire game. So you hear, even just 2 hours in, you've heard the same 4 lines from just ambient guards walking around.
And they'll repeat
over and over
themselves
again.
ad nauseum. So once you hear it, if you hang around for 3 more seconds, they'll start the same conversation over.
Yeah, it's great. Great stuff like that, man. Just real top-notch
It's a
fucking
piece of
game
shit.
design. Yeah, it's brutal.
Seems
And
like
then I
I'm
heard,
pretty rushed out, eh?
There were a bunch of layoffs at Eidos Montreal as soon as that game came out, so,
I don't think people are going to be putting that on their resume.
Yeah.
They made Thief. Yeah, we'll go with someone else.
It's bad. Stay away from it. Stay as far away from
How do you
Thief
guys
as you
feel
possibly
having
can.
paid $60 for? Like, I couldn't imagine having paid $60 for this thing.
It's not the first time.
Yeah, I was pretty desperate for a game to play on my PlayStation 4, and it sucks. But I mean, $60.
Oof.
I don't know what to tell you. It was interesting and intrigued me. It looked cool, and I was excited. I was let down.
The trailer for it was better than the game.
Yeah. What was Matt gonna grab all of his $60 purchases? Is that where he went?
I was kind of wondering why you were so close to your camera.
Crap that he
I don't know.
bought.
'Cause I'm leaning forward. Because I feel like when I'm leaning back, I feel like I'm too far.
We get to see more of you. We get to see that carpet.
You see my dirty place.
You're talking about how it makes me feel, paying $60. These are all games that I have paid $60 for on launch. Real. Look at that.
Darkness in there. Darkness was okay.
God of War Ascension. Just
What's
some
wrong
real
with Ascension?
Just some real Force Unleashed 2, Motorstorm.
Oh, you bought MotorStorm?
Fucking Gun.
Gun is something like it's Gun because Gun was a
It was a launch
title.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Just some
I
real
don't think
quality games,
I don't think we can be blamed or even take guilt in buying launch title games.
I see Alone in the Dark over there. That would have been a good one to pull out.
We're caught in the hype, and we want games to play on our new systems. So the guns, the lairs, the fucking what's this game called? Thieves.
Fucking Dragon's Lairs.
It's just there.
See,
What
that's
is
the
this
thing,
layer?
though. If all the
Controller.
games suck, why don't you just wait until there's good games to get the system?
Yeah.
Because you hope they're good. You don't know they suck until you get them and go,
when
oh,
is
these
the last time
sucks.
launch titles have been good?
I got some satisfaction out of Resistance.
Cameo
Until
was
Matt
all
beat it
right.
for me. I got
Cameo
some
was okay. Didn't the N64 launch with like a dope fucking launch lineup?
Mario 64.
Mario 64.
Was that it? There was. Let's
That
see.
wasn't launch, was
and
it?
Pilot Wing
Yeah, it
64.
I was thinking Mario
Was-
Kart. Yeah.
Was Mario 64 launch?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario
Pilot
64
Wings.
and Pilot Wings.
Yeah, Pilot Wings. Yeah, that was a fucking. Those were both great games.
I'd say Heavenly Sword was like it's not launch title, it was launch
window,
and
yeah.
it was totally great.
But that's the thing, though. Nintendo always has good launch titles, right? Like Wii came out, Wii
Wow.
Sports was the biggest game for how long? And that
Yeah.
game was simple as fuck.
They usually have, well, just the Wii at that point was.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah, they usually have like a first party big release to launch with them.
Did they with the Wii U?
No, not with the Wii U.
Mario Galaxy 2, wasn't that a launch title for Wii U?
That was Wii.
Well, there's a Mario game for...
Mario
Mario
Brothers
3D
U.
Land. Oh yeah, Mario
It's
U.
like Zombie U.
Yeah.
Came out.
Oh yeah, Zombie U was launch. Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2. I
Yeah.
think Batman came out for it.
That wasn't launched. That wasn't. There's no way that was
No?
launched. No. I don't think so.
Armored Edition. Come on, Mass Effect? Those were all launch, weren't they?
Sure.
Maybe not.
No,
I don't
Mass
know.
Effect. No way Mass Effect was launched.
Yeah, Thief sucks. You guys want to see what I bought before we get too far in here? So
Yeah.
I spent some money on this. Ordered this on Amazon. I recommend you flip over the video if you're listening on audio. It's called the Goatee Saver.
The fuck is
Now what
that?
you do is it's got this thing back here that you bite down on, and then I'll demonstrate for you. And you go
What
like
the
this, and then it goes there, and then you shave around it.
The fuck is that?
Oh my gosh.
And
Stop.
it's got these wheels, and you know it expands out like sideways here
Oh,
where my
yeah.
hands are, and you shape it. Yeah, and then you can shave your goatee in the shower. You don't even have to look.
Like, put it in your mouth.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, put it in your mouth. And then you can expand
go.
the sides. To
Uh-huh.
kind of,
Yeah, I could.
So does it press flush against your mouth?
Oh yeah, see.
What's on the backside? It looks like razor blades on the
yeah,
backside
it totally
of it
looks
there.
like a razor blade. It's
No, nothing's on the back. These are just like wheels.
just a design.
You spin-
Wheels
no,
for
you-
what?
you-
In case you want to
Yeah,
use it
but-
as a car?
to expand it. It's got like three
Oh.
points that expand on the side. So if I want like a big goatee, I can expand it.
How
out.
big of a goatee can you get with that thing?
I don't know. This was as big as I could get it without breaking it. I didn't know if it was going to snap, so I just stopped turning it and was like, that's good enough. But
Just surfing Amazon for novelty products.
no.
Eh? So you get like a bacon fryer or something.
Are you asking me if my goatee saver fries bacon while I'm
No.
using it to? Because if it did, I mean,
Steal of a deal.
yeah, fuck yeah, man. I
had
don't know.
I had a buddy in high school who was into novelty products and stuff like that. So when he got his license, he went and bought just an entire cooking set that would plug into his cigarette lighter in his car, like
Nice,
pancakes
yeah.
and pots and a griddle and. Fucking
Gotta
Christ,
make
dude. He's
those-
like, I'm gonna
those-
cook breakfast on the way to school.
Road trip pancakes.
I don't know if he ever did. But
This is
fun
not a
thing.
novelty item, by the way. This is function, because the hardest part of having a goatee is keeping it, identical every time.
Well, I mean, that's when you use a mirror and not just do it willy-nilly in the shower.
Even with the mirror. Eventually, after a couple months, it gets so fucked up that I just got to take the whole thing off. It's like,
You're
well,
terrible at trimming it.
there's no salvaging this. Time to just bzzz, the whole thing comes off.
Why don't you pull a Kevin and just go full beard?
Well,
You don't
that's
have to
actually
maintain
usually
shit.
that's usually what I do, but
Yeah, that's
it's
how you
getting
had it last
summertime. Yeah, it's getting summertime in here, so I gotta
And also,
you
you guys got to differentiate from each other.
exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Otherwise, I get confused. I know Matt must also get confused.
Yeah, sometimes I see Kevin and I'm like, oh shit, what is future me doing in this time? Oh boy. Anybody? Let's start with me this week. How about? You guys want to start with me? Start with the games that I played?
You started talking about Thief. Go ahead.
I don't want to talk anymore about Thief. It's a bad fucking game and it's not worth the time we spent talking about it.
Uninstall it if you've downloaded it.
I'm never going to play it again.
How big was the install on that?
I don't know. You
I don't
start,
know. I don't.
start
I
it
don't
in the
look at
morning,
that number.
put it on standby, come back, Thief's installed. That's all I know. It didn't even start preloading. That's why
No,
I
it didn't.
preloaded it, because I'm like, oh sweet, it'll automatically download. I won't have to think about it. Awesome. Didn't even fucking do that.
No, it didn't start, and then I saw it in the morning. Well, I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. So I just manually started downloading it, and right before I left for work, which I give myself like 2 hours in the morning, right before I left for work, it was already like downloaded and installed. So it's
What
quick.
time do you wake up if you give yourself
Jesus.
2 hours?
5.
He's got to play Wake Up Club. He's got to keep that Wake Up Club score up.
Wake up club trophies.
Yeah.
Plus, I gotta cook breakfast. I like to sit around. I like to Reddit for an hour.
Fuck. I wake up 15 minutes before I need to leave.
I can't do that.
So do
I do not like rushing.
Really? I'm an hour kind of guy. I like to get up a good hour before I got to be out the door.
I never rush though. I have it down to a science. I get up at 20 after 7 and I'm at work by 8.
There's stuff to do. There's
You need that
breakfast to be
time.
had.
You need time to like wake up. You get into work and you're ready to go.
I even like it when I can leave my house a little bit early, so I can sit in the parking lot and just listen to music before I start my day.
So I'm not about
That's
that.
a sign
No.
that you hate your job if
Yeah.
you have to
No,
sit in the parking
No,
lot.
that's a sign you hate your life. You're like, I can't be at this house. I need to be at work. I'm gonna go sit in the parking lot and listen to music. Listen to
it's
angry punk
maybe.
rock, 'cause I hate my
Maybe.
dad.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I do.
Maybe you can read it that way, but I just like being able to just sit there and listen to music.
Sure.
The
I don't
big
know.
question is, why don't you spend that time listening to podcasts?
Because I tend to keep my podcast for actual work time.
Oh, you don't want to ruin the experience by listening to a podcast before you go to work. I get it.
Matt,
really get it.
what other games have you been playing, pal?
I played a little bit of South Park, The Stick of Truth this week. Little bit. It's a great game. Hey, if you like South Park, I bet you're gonna like South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Ask me if I like South Park.
Oliver, do you like South Park?
Nope.
Hmm.
Will I like the Stick of Truth?
No. I bet you will actively hate The Stick of Truth because it's a lot of. It's kind of just a 12-hour excuse to just fill it full of fan service, fill it full of stuff from the show, basically.
Well, this is a game you've been really looking forward to, wasn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, I took all week off because
Shit.
I had no idea what the playtime would be on this game. I figured, RPG, it's been in development for 150 years. Maybe it's got a good 30 hours in it. So I'll take off the week, beat it, so I can talk about it on the show.
Yeah, I didn't come down to Edmonton this week because you were going to be playing so much South Park.
That's right.
Was that seriously the reason why you took the whole week off?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like a 12-hour playtime, right around 12 hours.
Yeah,
right on par with Uncharted.
I beat it by like 4 o'clock the day it came out. So
It's a great game. Like it's kind of old school. It's Legend of the Dragoon combat. I don't know what other old school RPGs use
I've
that
heard
action
Paper Mario.
timing. Yeah, Paper Mario, sure. It's turn-based combat, and then you have the, hit square at the right time to do bonus damage or to do extra attacks.
Yeah, Paper Mario.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Legend of the Dragoon was out way before Paper Mario.
RPG.
But if you wanna, it's fun. It's a great little RPG. The thing to come to it for is all the licensed content from the show.
yeah.
It's not really a stellar game just from the game side, but boy, is there a lot of shit from the show in there.
Talk about it. It's win me
It's
over.
not like it's probably the best RPG to come out in the last 10 years, hands down.
Is that Mass Effect, Fallout, Skyrim?
Sorry,
Dragon Age inclusive?
the best
Turn-based
RPG, not action RPG or adventure RPG or based on that logic and how we define RPGs, Call of Duty is an RPG.
What is an RPG? Rocket
Everything.
propelled grenades? What are you guys talking? It's like the thing in Call of Duty. Like, shoot the RPG.
No,
It's
like
better than the RPG 7 for sure.
you guys know what I'm talking about, though.
I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
now I get it.
It is a very solid. I would just say turn-based. Turn-based RPG. Final Fantasy. I don't know what other genre you could.
JRPG style.
It's like Final Fantasy 9. That's like the last Final Fantasy that I can think of that actually has the old style RPG elements in it.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, it's pretty basic. You got a part. It's always you and a companion Does that ever? It's always you two people, right?
Yeah, it's always two people. You have your main character, who's douchebag. That's your name.
Well, at this point, I think I am Lord Douchebag, Sir Douchebag.
Sir
I think
douchebag.
I might be Lord.
I think you're Sir Douchebag.
I got another one. I
You
got
could be
another
Lord
title
douchebag
upgrade.
by now,
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm
But
getting
yeah,
up
it's
there.
just it's just a funny way to interact with all the characters in the show.
Yeah, that's what you're there for. You're there because you like South Park. You're not there because you're way into JRPGs. Like, it's fine.
I would
as a
say if
game.
you like RPGs and don't like South Park, you're probably not going to like the game.
Absolutely. I think you will hate the game because I really do like South Park, but there are some jokes in there that are a little too far in that direction for me, and even that stuff I'm kind of like, do I really like South Park, or do I just think it's funny when they do that really racist Chinese accent? Which I love. I got that guy as a summon now, so a big summon comes in and helps me out, and I think I laugh every time. Every single time.
City Walk guy?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you have there's 4 different classes. There's warrior, which I think Eads is.
Yep.
There's a mage, a thief, and a Jew. I rolled Jew because, as we all know, Jews have superpowers.
Stuff like that. Even like that joke right off the top. They're like, you could be the Jew. It's like, I'm like, oh, little on the head. Don't you guys think? Just a tad. Like, I'm only a couple hours into the game, and I had to save this guy who was getting just ruthlessly anally probed by these aliens. Like, some of the stuff is just a little bit on the head. You're like, haha, I get it.
I think they're just going for shock value at that point.
Yeah, some of it. And, well, some of it, they did it in the show, so they want to bring it in. But there's some parts of the show that I think are super stupid. There's some episodes of South Park that I just do not like. And every time I hit one of those parts, I'm like,
What's the story?
The Stick of Truth controls the universe, and the elves and the humans have been fighting over it for eons. And the game opens up right when the elves steal away the Stick of Truth. The real story is all these like 8-year-olds are just playing.
Yeah, they're just playing and they're imagining this, right?
Yeah. So your weapons are like, a frying pan, or I think I'm using a broken tennis racket with a broken bottle taped to the end or something. But yeah, you're trying to get the Stick of Truth. I got it. I got the stick back.
Did
That's
you?
right.
12
Yeah.
hours.
Oh shit!
No, it
Is
happens
there-
early. I got it. I got it back, and then I got a promotion to Sir Douchebag.
Is there any sort of replayability, like Ultima weapons that you have to fight, scatter around the world?
There's a couple side quests that don't really seem like they're that important to do. Like, one of the side quests is, there's 7 homeless people scattered around the town, and you should kill them because we don't like homeless people.
I
So-
think most of the side quests give you a summon, right? And once you do 'em.
There's 4 summons that you can get during the game.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sort of a bummer. I was looking forward to getting
maybe-
like the whole cast of South Park eventually.
Maybe the homeless one gives you a summon after it. I never finished that one because I couldn't find the last homeless guy to beat.
Does Al Gore turn into a summon?
No, Al Gore does not turn into a summon.
Why am I even doing that shit then? Wasting my time.
Is Cartman still just an insufferable douchebag or what?
Yeah,
No,
kind of.
Carbon's great.
It's his character. It's funny stuff though. There's funny stuff in there. Like when it gets the comedy right, I think it's super super funny. Funny enough that I want to keep playing to hear like the jokes.
You guys mentioned that Matt and Trey, the creators, had like their fingers all up in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of why it took so long, is because, like, I'm not completely sure, but I know they wrote most of the dialogue, if not all of it.
So I mean,
Like they did a great job. Like, it looks like an episode of South Park. Like, they did a fantastic job. It's all the licensed content. It's all, Matt and Trey do most of the voices, so it's most of the real voices. It's like stuff straight out of the show. It's how you do a licensed game right.
is there?
Take notes, Walking Dead. Get some fucking characters from the show to act your characters. Let's go.
Nah, I as far as Walking Dead goes, I'm glad it stays in its own thing.
Yeah, but a
I'm really
friend and
glad
I actually, Cam, I played through season 1, episode 1, and I was just watching, and like you get to that part where you're on Herschel's farm, and I had to be like, oh, that's Herschel, and he's like, oh, what? No way, because they mention it offhandedly, but you're used to hearing the Herschel from the show.
No.
Same thing. I really wish that they would have got the real voice actors. Same with Glenn. Glenn is in there too.
Maybe, but I mean,
Whoops. Like if South Park would have came out and had voice actors doing their best like South Park character impressions, this game would have been total shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get past that if that's how it was. Like listening to a bad Cartman accent would have ruined the entire experience.
I had a question. Now, this game has been in development for a really long time. Does it show that? Like, is there like stuff that's like, is there like a joke that was written a couple years ago that you're like, wow, that was super 2010?
Not really. It's I mean it just all pulls on like South Park lore, right? So you have Man Bear Pig and you have like Jesus and like everything that you would expect. Everything that you would expect from a South Park episode is pretty much in the game. But the whole fact, like they don't do any like time frame specific jokes. Like they don't have Kanye West and his Vote or Die or whoever the hell that was.
Is Kanye in the game?
No Kanye, no.
That would have been some
that's what I think made it take so long. Was I wonder if they were gonna have like all these kind of controversial jokes that they had in the show, and then at some point Ubisoft went like, hey guys, this isn't cable TV, alright, we can't just get away with all this shit. That's what made me think this game took so long, was probably just narrowing down what you could get in. And even they even had to censor some stuff, apparently, for Europe and Australia.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Pretty much anywhere that wasn't the United States.
Well, there was...
North America is uncensored. Canada is uncensored.
One of the first things that happens in the game is... because the town is fairly big, there's a good 40 or 50 houses that you can go into and explore and interact with. And some of them, when you open the door, is just like one of the first houses that you come up to, and you open the door to, check out what's inside, because nobody really cares if you're a 10-year-old kid and you're just walking into random people's houses. That's apparently a totally fine thing.
It's where the loot is.
Yeah. So you walk in, and there's just this butt-naked chick just fucking standing there, and she starts screaming. And then later on, there's this dude who's just jerking off, and then there's another couple who's having sex, and it's just...
Stuff like that, I don't find that funny. When you walk in and the guy's jerking off, and you're like, oh, you gotta get out of here. Good one, Matt and Trey. You guys really stepped your game up there.
The one thing that I read a lot about from the reviews, people universally liked this game, but they said that technically it didn't run very well. Did you notice a lot of stuttering and chugging?
No. I've always noticed like more stuttering in like Walking Dead and games like that. Yeah. But I downloaded it. I don't have the disc or whatever, and I installed it to my PlayStation, and it ran fine.
Yeah, some of the videos that I was trying to watch, totally fine. I mean, I could tell where it was stuttering, but it just seemed like normal video game chug. But these people were making it out to be a huge deal. Like, this is taking me out of it.
It's not a real, like, you're not watching it and going, wow, I can't believe the graphics that they packed into this South Park game. You're like, this looks like an episode of South Park. It looks like the construction paper animation.
Well, and that's the thing they were going for, too, is that, I don't know if you guys watched that interview that they did before, but they wanted to make this game feel like if somebody were to just walk into your house and see this, like, oh, you're watching an episode of South Park. I mean, they wanted it to look exactly like that, which I think they did, but I guess I don't understand why people were getting so up in arms about it being chuggy at points.
Because it's the internet, and people love to get up in arms about anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason. Like they're hating just because, well, this game chugged in one part for me, so I'm gonna bitch about it and I'm never gonna play the game again.
You guys want to see the back of the Crackdown construction? Look at all those controls. Look at all those.
Crackdown was awesome.
Look how many controls Crackdown had.
Bring that up. This is weird. Well, going back on the whole haters thing, this is what I mentioned maybe a couple shows ago, that I was wishing that this game would just bomb so that people would just stop talking about it. But
sorry, bud. Bad news.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
It's you know what? Fuck you, Oliver. All right, good games are never something to be angry about. We could just all have Thief. You want another Thief? Is that what you wanted?
It's not.
I'll tell you a
the good
Steam
game
code.
thing. It's not the good game thing. It's the South Park thing. I am just not into South Park at all.
Are you into good games?
I can agree with him on that aspect. I like South Park, but I'm not one of those people who can sit and quote every single episode, and I know all the jokes.
What are you talking about? When we were at E3, you and Ben were, or not, was it Ben? Yeah, I think it was you and Ben were quoting that one episode of South Park.
One
the
episode.
Entire show.
One episode.
Out of context.
That episode was
he was walking
funny.
around the show floor calling Danica Patrick a dumb bitch, and everyone's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
And then we all laid in bed together and made you watch it.
All right.
I asked.
That just got
I
really
asked
weird.
if we could all lie in bed together and watch it. Oh, heck,
I
there
know
was.
you did.
You know what? It was consensual.
It was. But no, back to the point that it's like I like South Park, but I can see why Oliver really wouldn't care about, because without South Park, this game wouldn't essentially have any draw to it. If you don't like South Park, why the hell would you play this game? I don't think an RPG player is gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll get this.
I don't know. I still think it is. It's totally designed fine. Like the game itself, it never feels like it never gets boring. Like the combat is always fresh because you're always forced to interact with the combat. You don't just press A to attack and then turn your head because you have to wait for the animation and then wait till your menu comes up and then just go again. Mm-hmm. It's just there's always the timing on the attacks and the defenses and counterattacks, and I don't know. It just seems like the combat never seemed like it was a chore. It was always fun to go into a combat.
Yeah, it's very well made. It's a great game. There's a lot of Skyrim jokes, which I think are really funny.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick it up, but man, with Titanfall next week and Dark Souls, and I can't justify it right now.
You put 9 hours into Thief, you can't put 12 hours into South Park.
I wish I would have chosen South Park instead of Thief, but I've got a budget.
Well, Eric, I got this. If you go to usedgames.net and put in this Matt for cash, you put in the code box,
okay,
and then you buy the South Park, I get $20. I mean,
that website actually had South Park for $32 PC.
There you go. If you want to buy cheap copies of games, go to this scam website that'll probably eventually steal your credit card info that Eric always uses.
I paid
what
with
is it?
PayPal.
Something, it's .uk or something, isn't it?
No, it's 2game.com.
2game.com. Isn't it? It's in the UK or something though, right?
It is, but they have an international.
Do they have something going on for Infamous? I'll try it for Infamous.
If you want to wait for shipping, on
Well,
Infamous?
they do digital copy. I don't know if they do PlayStation Network digital copies.
You can't order digital copies on either of the networks except from the network.
Oh, okay. Well, what does it have for Titanfall?
Titanfall, I got that for $35.
I think wasn't it 45? I think you told me 45.
Yeah, sorry, 45.
No.
How much
on
is that
PC though?
Is that?
I don't think. Let me see if they still have the
$60
deal.
$60 on PC, is it?
I want to say $49.99, probably, just like most other PC games.
It's
I can
60.
open my.
It's
Really?
60. Yeah, it's 60. They only have a 5% off Titanfall right now, but last time it was $15 off.
It's 5% of 60, not $15.
No.
I also played a little bit of the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. Is an open beta. Played a bit of that. It's kind of like Diablo meets the Castle Doctrine.
Open beta is same thing as early access, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
I thought you were.
Except early access, well, I didn't have to pay for it.
Oh.
There's the thing, right? I don't mind playing games in beta. I just don't like paying for games in beta. It's kind of Diablo meets the Castle Doctrine. You got a hero, you got a mage, a rogue, or a warrior, probably. I was a mage. You're going through these castles. It's very Diablo. You got 6 buttons, 6 action bar buttons. You got a Q hits your potion. It basically is Diablo. And then the other side of it is you're designing your castle. You're putting down traps and monsters, and then other people go and they invade your castle. And it's not great. You might as well play Diablo if you want to play the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, because there's not a lot going on as far as designing the castle goes. It's not like the Castle Doctrine where you're intricately building these super lethal mazes. It's sort of, if you're doing a castle that is your level, like you're supposed to be there, nothing's way too high level for you, you're just rolling through it. Even the hardest castles are, like, you got to be stupid to die in someone else's. Really, really stupid to die in somebody else's castle. It doesn't seem great, but it's free. It's very free to play. You got to buy extra character slots. You can buy. You're doing the thing where buildings need energy, and you're waiting for energy. But if you pay money, because maybe just toss them a couple bucks. You don't got to wait so long. Stuff like that. So it's not great. But all right. I also played a bunch of Diablo. Speaking of Diablo,
Matt and I pounded through another act today.
Yeah, we made
Diablo
it.
3?
Yeah, we're on Act 3 of Hardcore Diablo 3. Eric already died once and had to re-roll, which is pretty funny.
You guys just prepping for the DLC that's coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Expansion, whatever it is?
Expansion, yeah. Well, they revamped the loot system now. It's Loot 2.0, which means you actually find legendaries. You actually find loot that you can use. They basically fixed the loot cycle, so it's a lot of fun now. You're finding stuff, even just leveling up. Like Eric and I found a couple legendaries each in the 2 hours we played today.
Is that the rarest form of loot?
Yeah, the orange items. They look they're cool now. They when one drops, it's like a big beacon of light. Like it's a big presentation when you get them. They're fun to get now.
Is loot still the same where that one thing will drop in both the OR games and it's like a race to get them?
No.
No. Yeah, it's Diablo 3. Everybody gets their own loot.
Oh, that's good.
And it's
'cause that's
different,
what I
too.
hated about Diablo when I was playing with you guys, because you guys would just steamroll through the thing, and fucking Matt and Kevin are just miles ahead while me and Eric are behind, picking up just
Comparing
shitty
whites.
things. Yeah. Picking up
It's not
shitty
our
things.
fault that you guys were just like, hey, this is 1 damage higher on the high end, but it takes 2 stamina away, and I have hold on, let me put this one on, attack 100 mobs, write down all the numbers that happened, and then switch out for the other and see which is more efficient.
It's not even like we're like level 8, so we're finding better shit constantly because we're leveling up every 4 minutes, and they're like, well, I got these boots, but I'm gonna replace my old ones. I know I'm gonna get 5 more boots in this dungeon. I just gotta try these though.
The thing is that you guys knew how to play Diablo that way.
Diablo now is like, you look, because it shows you very clearly, this will increase your damage, this will increase your life, or this will increase your ability to heal. So you look, is the number red or is it green? If it's red, you just throw it away.
And if you have all 3 greens, equip that shit.
Yep,
And
it's
move
quick,
on.
and it's just bang, bang, bang. You're always finding new shit, and it's a lot of fun. Diablo is an awful lot of fun.
It gets a little. I've noticed that it gets a little bit, not confusing, but overwhelming when you're trying to sort through brand new skills, especially when you're leveling up as fast as we are, because you're just constantly getting new shit.
Well, there is the 50% EXP boost, and we're also a year and a half into Diablo 3 now, so it's like, it's weird for you because you are just now playing Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody who's into it, basically you rush to 60 and don't worry about the skills you use because you're going to change them at 60 anyways. I like playing hardcore. Eric and I are playing hardcore where if your character dies, he is dead forever.
And I've already lost 1.
Do you just re-roll and then like try to race to your body to pick up your old loot?
No, you don't. It's gone.
No, there is no old loot.
Really?
Yeah, it deletes your character. You make another character, fuck you. is what happens when it dies.
I like how they put a disclaimer on there saying that Blizzard support will not resurrect any fallen hardcore character for any reason. That they had to have gotten calls about that.
Is it a harder difficulty then?
No, same difficulty.
Same difficulty.
It's just a hardcore mode where it's permadeath.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit more conscientious of what you're doing.
We're still we're still playing on normal. I maintain that you have to be dumb to die in normal. Normal is easy. As someone who plays it on Torment 5.
That's a backhanded calling me dumb.
As someone who plays it on the hardest difficulty now, man, normal is just I go slow because Eric's there, but I still think it's funny if I try and go a little quick and see if he'll get caught up and die. I bet I can get him killed before I
Coming from the guy who, when we were fighting blood, oh god, I'm almost dead. He's screaming the entire time.
I had one close call where I got a little low, but I forgot I
saved him.
No, he didn't. I pressed Q and popped a potion and was fine. But I forgot I had an ability where if I take lethal, I just get a second chance. So really, I was 100% fine. I just went, getting a little low, and then pressed Q and was fine.
It was more intense than that.
Nah.
Don't downplay it.
Nah.
So what classes are you guys rocking?
I'm a witch doctor.
Rocking a wizard. My first one, my fallen one, it was a barbarian, and I did a terrible job building a tank. I just built a wussy pansy-ass barbarian that could take about 3 hits before he died. So,
which is confusing because you don't really build
make any choices.
Yeah, there's no, especially at the level we're at. There's no choices to make yet. You just get the good ability and use the good ability.
I feel like the first time we were rolling through, we didn't pick up as much legendary shit though.
We weren't playing Loot 2.0, I don't think. We played hardcore the first time.
Yeah, you're right.
And before Loot 2.0, even at level 60, I put in 150 hours before the new loot changed over, and I found 1 legendary, and it was a piece of shit. And that was with me stacking Magic Find. I had the 300% Magic Find cap. I was at it, and still, you didn't find anything.
You and I are just throwing away legendary items like nothing.
Yeah,
this is shit.
They took Magic Find out of the game, which is awesome, because now you don't have to worry about stacking a useless stat. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for the expansion.
I'm digging it.
A lot of cool features in there. Kevin is trying to get his mysteriously vanished account back.
Yeah, my copy of Diablo 3 disappeared from my BattleNet for some reason.
My idea, what I think happened is that he used... Because back when Diablo 3 came out was before, I'm pretty sure it was before everything was centralized into one BattleNet account. So I think he used a different email to get Diablo 3. So there is an email out there somewhere. There's probably keyfoam.buyer. Maybe that's why you can't find it, because you put keyfoam. And that has Diablo 3 on it. And
I know how many email addresses I have. They don't just
sure
you
do.
Make email addresses.
Yeah, yes you can.
No, man, you can't.
So Kevin is it is weird though, because Kev had Diablo 2. I know for sure because we were all playing at one time.
Yeah,
he had Diablo
2
3 because we played it at launch. And a bunch of that shit is just missing from his BattleNet account, which is super weird. So.
You made him money, buy him again.
See how that works out.
Believe me, if I don't get it back, I may be buying another copy of Diablo 3, but I will be very, very disappointed if I have to do that.
After you hated it so much, you can buy it again?
I never hated it. I hate Blizzard because everything about them never used to work on my computer until I actually put a little effort in and did what the internet told me to do. Just
like how Hearthstone wasn't working, and now all you do is play Hearthstone. Lose at Hearthstone.
Yes. Holy shit, have I put in... After beating South Park on day 1, I have put in probably 70 hours into Hearthstone this week.
Spend any money, or is it all riding on gold?
I justified spending money on it because I got really, really drunk on Wednesday.
Say no more.
And just you know what? I'm going to throw some money at this.
How much money? What did you buy? Did you buy arena runs?
No, I haven't had to buy arena runs. I bought some packs.
Oh, it's such a waste. It's such a waste.
How much did you spend?
How much does a pack cost?
I spent $50.
How much? Jesus Christ. How much does a pack cost?
40 packs for $50.
Why not? Like, it's $2 to do the arena thing. If you do the arena, and if you win, you get bonus epic and legendary cards. Did you know that? If you get 12 wins, you get an epic in one of those prizes.
Oh, dude.
I got Big Game Hunter. Suck it.
Nice, respect.
And it's only $2 to do the arena run, though, and then you get to do the whole run, and you get to play the arena, and you get a pack guaranteed, and you could get more gold to buy more packs, and you could just get cards.
I don't know if you know who you're talking to, but Kevin doesn't like to play games. He likes to buy them.
I like to win games. I don't like to play games.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so good at the ranking ladder.
Yeah, because you put 50. That's what I don't like about that constructed mode. Is you put $50 in, so now you can go use your good cards and play constructed, and your cards aren't not even the best. They could be better. You could put more money in.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, I think that part's super shitty. That's why I just stick to that arena mode.
I just don't like the fact where if you do stick to arena, then you're waiting a year before you can even play constructed, depending on how much you play.
I'm fine with that. It'll be when the beta ends, they're gonna roll all arena runs and all packs are just gonna turn into packs. It sounds like.
No, they're done with rollbacks. Everything on your account from now on is yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never got the rollback. I always heard about this rollback that was coming, but it never happened. So I don't know then.
Weird.
There's some guys like drag racing down my street right now. I don't know if you can hear them.
Yeah, I can.
I can.
Weird.
I can't.
Yeah, that's all the games I played. Anybody play?
You didn't play Walking Dead?
That is not all the games you played.
Well, I worked on and wrote The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 2. I don't know if you guys knew that, so here we go. I guess we're going to do some spoilers now. If you haven't played it yet, jump ahead. Yeah, jump ahead 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that, and go play it, because, man.
Fuck.
Outstanding.
When you sent me, you woke me up with a Skype message saying, "Damn, that episode 2," and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to live up to.
Okay, spoilers start now. Spoilers start right now. The reason I was excited and wanted to just talk about it was because way back in Season 1, Episode 4, when Kenny dies, I went, it's on the podcast. You can go back and listen to it if you want. I bet Kenny's not dead.
We all said Kenny's not dead.
Fuck, I said he was dead.
Kevin was the one that was like, no, you guys are dumb.
I got a lot of, because in this episode you find out, you meet up with Kenny again. Kenny's totally still alive. And I got a ton of people being like, oh shit, you were right. I'm like, yeah, of course I was. Come on.
Does Kenny falls down into that building while you guys are running on the rooftops, right?
He stays down below to help Ben.
But doesn't that depend? Because couldn't you kill Ben in the clock tower?
Oh yeah. You could have.
Because in my game, Ben fell between one of the buildings.
Yeah, mine too, and got impaled or something. I think.
I have no. Well,
he got like a spike through him because Kenny couldn't get him out of there.
Right. Yeah, and then Kenny had to leave him or whatever.
Yeah, and Kenny's like, I'm going after him.
I think you drop like a radio down into like a skylight, and Kenny decides to go and get it, and then you get the scream, but you don't get the confirmation kill or whatever.
I think it was right when he was rescuing Ben, where he's basically you just see the zombies overtake. You assume it's them, but you never see Kenny, and Ben goes like, "Rah!" and dies.
In my game,
I think that's the end of it, isn't it?
Particularly remember that Kenny. Was it Lee or was it Kenny that sort of because he got locked behind a fence or something, and I think it was Lee, and he was like, all right, well I can't save him, so I got to turn my back on him.
And Kenny's out there with Ben or something, and you're like, Kenny's just like, just go, and you're gonna be like, I'm not leaving you, man, and then you have
Kenny
to
pushes
just
you
go.
out and locks it behind you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's how he did for me. Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you guys talk to Kenny enough in this episode to have him describe what happened?
What he said to me was, I went back for that shitbird Ben, and it got hairy, and that was it.
Yeah, that's all he said for me.
So if you ended up killing Ben in the clock tower, I wonder what that dialogue switches to.
I wonder how Kenny disappears. if Ben dies in the clock tower.
Mine was weird because I didn't carry over my save from when I played season 1, so it was all just random anyways. But I remember vividly. I remember that he went through one of the skylights to grab something. And
wasn't that you? Like you jumped down
you
jumped down onto a truck, right? There's like a big truck inside, and you jump down onto it and
this is what I remember from it. He jumped down into one of the buildings to grab like the radio that fell or whatever, and then he got surrounded by zombies, and then we had to take off, and that's the last I saw of Kenny. That's how it was in my game. But I'm pretty sure I did not drop him. Yeah, I did drop what's his face in the clock tower.
Okay, so maybe that's
game.
That must have been.
Yeah, because I remember you talking about how yours was different with how Kenny left when we were playing season 1.
So then that instance with Lee, and then the gate gets locked behind him or whatever. Who was that? That's
when he's saving Ben. That's when Kenny saved Ben for me. And he pushes you and then shuts that gate, and you're like, no, don't do this, man. He's like, I hate Ben, but my wife and kid are dead.
I don't remember what happened in my original game.
I remember being in Camp Kenny. I remember Kenny like being my boy, and then this time you meet up with him, and he's like, I never really did like that fucker Lee, and you're like, whoa, what?
Yeah,
I thought we were tight.
Mine Kenny never said that.
Yeah, mine did.
I think there's one flag. I think if you don't try to save Duck, you try to save that other guy at the very beginning of season 1. I think if you don't save Duck, no matter what, Kenny is always like, well, we never really saw eye to eye, which was sort of shitty.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb because
especially because I thought I could save them both, and then
But yeah, it was like for me, he said. My Kenny said, Lee was always there for me. He pulled the trigger when I couldn't, when my son turned, and everything like that.
So what happened in this game? How did it start? I remember meeting Kenny, but nothing before that.
So at the very beginning, and this is where it felt a little disjointed because I don't remember this happening, but Clementine and Nick are just in a shed hanging out.
Oh, right. It's whoever you run away with.
It was me and Pete.
Yeah, me too. In an ambulance I was in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It cuts to like the end of episode 1 from season 2. It's like 5 minutes later. Like you take off 5 minutes later. Episode 2 starts.
So with me, did anybody else end up with Nick in the shed, or did you guys all choose Pete?
I was in the shed. Which one's Nick?
The guy in the shed.
The young guy.
Yeah, that's this. Yeah.
So. I guess initially I thought this was the same shed that Clementine was in at the beginning of episode 1, but this wasn't. This is just some random shed that they came across in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're running. They're running for their lives.
But why the fuck is there a shed just in the middle of the woods, no house around?
There's farmhouses and shit all over the place. Why is there an ambulance in the middle of the woods?
It's a half mile from the farmhouse that they're at, so obviously this is a part of the property.
Okay.
Does anything even like all I remember is that fucking bridge?
No, so at the beginning what happens is Nick is going through these series of emotions where why'd you let Pete die, and then you had the choice to say nothing, and I ended up telling him that Pete got bit, and then he comes around a little bit more. He falls into this drunken stupor of woe is me, and you can make the choice to like, okay, fine, fuck you and stay here and die. Then you wake up the next morning, you go out, and to head back to the cabin. There's a bunch of zombies out there, and they start overtaking people, and Nick draws their attention to one side, and Clementine can either say, all right, see you later, and take off, or she can go and help Nick, and they get out together.
They don't get out together.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because she goes over to him, and then she ends up taking off anyway.
They do both get out, though, right? Because Nick plays a pretty key part.
They both eventually get out, because later on you come back for him.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how you guys, because you were with Nick, you see him, like, he does some real shitty stuff later in the episode, but you guys see him, and kind of, it's that A to B point, but I was with Pete. So I didn't really have, like, for me, Nick was just all of a sudden a real shitty dude to be around.
Yeah,
I
totally.
feel like if I wouldn't have been with Nick in this episode wouldn't have been as impactful as it was.
Well, I mean, because we were with Pete, and like, because Pete was like, "You need to take care of my boy. I'm not gonna make it through this. You need to take care of him." So you kind of get that side of the story or whatever, and then you end up telling him that Pete didn't make it, and Buddy goes into like depression or whatever, and then his actions are sort of, because I didn't spend that time with him, I didn't really have that sympathy for him, but his actions throughout this episode kind of tell you like he's in a bad place or whatever. But again, like, I didn't spend that time with him, so I was just thinking that this guy's a dick, right?
That was me too. Yeah, I'm like, what? Nick is a fucking asshole. Like, what is this guy's problem?
Yeah.
There was when you were in the little shed with him or whatever, I remember him saying something about how he's always been a fuck up, is how he said that people describe him. And the rest of the episode is just
good.
Well,
Yeah,
you do
sure are a
guaranteed fuck up.
I think by being in the shed with him, though, you develop a little bit of a sympathy for him.
Yeah, I'd imagine that happens, because there's a lot of points in here where they kind of give you a chance to kind of side with what's his name, Luke? No,
Luke.
Pete.
Yeah.
Luke. Yeah, and then I'm like, I don't want to side with this guy because this guy is just flying off the handle. He can't handle that. Were they
It's
father
Nick.
and son?
Nick is it's his uncle.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh,
right?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
So-
Nick and
Nick's
Pete
uncle.
are related.
Yeah, and but I'm like, no, I don't care much for this guy. This guy is really fucking up our program right now.
I liked it because, like Kevin said, he knows he's a fuck up, yet he can't seem to do anything to prevent himself from fucking things up. Like, he's just this walking bad situation all the time. He just doesn't think through shit. But
He's Ben. He's this season's Ben.
yeah,
They should give you the option to, like, trip him when you're running from, like, whoops, oh no, I kicked Nick in the face twice, and now he's down. Well, we gotta go. These zombies are chasing us.
That's
Too
kind of
bad.
cool, though. Was there a situation in the first season where you had this sort of dynamic? Because, like, you guys spent some time with Nick, so you got his side of the story, whereas Matt and I spent time with Pete.
Yeah.
And, like, sure, Pete wants us to look out for him, but with, like, the actions that he's taken beforehand and after, he's like, I don't care for this guy. This guy is really fucking it up for us.
well, I felt the same way too. I mean, he's fucking it up, and clearly the guy has to go. But there is a part of you that because you had that, you feel bad for him, and there's a sliver of you. It's like, okay, let's give him another chance, and like, okay, well, he fucked this up. Okay, maybe one more chance.
See, that's pretty cool.
How did you guys deal with Carver when Carver shows up to the house?
That guy.
I treated him like I don't know these
12-year-old
people.
girls in the house.
There wasn't two. There was only one.
There's two.
There's you and the daughter.
Sarah.
He never found her.
Well, as far as
yeah,
Carver-
no, as far as Carver knows, she wasn't there for me either. I played it cool as a cucumber. I'm like, I don't know these people.
Did
This is
she
my
take the
house.
picture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. She has to. She has to take the picture, no matter what. That's
Really?
yeah. Because
How you know?
either because I said, quit fucking playing around, and she just goes, fun, and takes a picture of herself.
Oh, lame.
Yeah.
See, I would have figured it would have been the picture she took of Clementine would have been on the floor, and then he would have been like, "Well, who took this picture if you're here by yourself?"
Oh, that would have been better.
I did.
selfie.
Yeah. Well, she turns it around and takes a selfie of herself. Go figure. And that's what Carver finds.
I really like that part. That part was a good example on how the writing in The Walking Dead is just this slow burn, and you know that something is just going to drop like later on.
I didn't like
you
how
get- You get this sense of
powerless.
dread.
I didn't like how powerless Clementine was through that whole thing.
No,
like,
but I like how
What was she gonna do? She's
it's like
10
everything. You like try to. Well, you have a gun.
No, you don't.
No,
You
it's empty
say you have a gun.
The girl has a gun. Why don't you take her gun?
because it's empty.
Is it empty?
Yeah, she said there's no bullets in
empty,
it.
No.
I wasn't aware that there was a gun. I knew
Yeah,
there was
Sarah
a
found it under the house.
Yeah, the daughter points a gun at your face, and you're like, whoa, 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 don't do that, because she's like, will you teach me how to shoot? And
What
That never
happens
happened
if
for
you
you?
choose?
I don't
What
remember.
happens if you tell her not? Like if you say no, I'm not going to teach you.
I said no, and she's like, "Oh, come on!" and she points it at your face, and you're like, "Don't point that at me."
See, the way that I did it is I'm taking the approach with Sarah that she's being coddled, and I think there's nothing worse than children who are coddled. Like, there's some shit going on, and you need to know what's going on. So Clem's just very point blank with her about what's going on, and it was kind of cool because as she's walking her through how to shoot, she's rehashing some of the lessons that Lee taught her in the train car.
I didn't get that because I chose to like do as Carlos said and kind of like not tell her anything.
Yeah,
so I
me
didn't get
too.
any of that.
Carlos
no,
already
I told
hates
her
me.
everything.
I don't need any more heat from Carlos. All right,
Yeah,
and
I didn't
even
tell her
then,
what was going on, but I taught her how to shoot.
I kept his daughter safe from Carver, and even then he's like, "What are you doing taking pictures? You stupid!"
Kind of an asshole for
Kevin, when you were
Fucking
teaching her how to
asshole.
shoot, did you pick up on any of the stuff that Lee was talking about?
Well, yeah, I mean,
It's
that's
pretty
who taught
obvious,
Clementine how
right?
to shoot. How else is she going to teach someone else how to shoot?
Yeah.
I really like that Carver character. It's played by Michael Madsen,
I don't
who's
know
the
who
guy
that
from
is.
Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill.
He's a legitimate actor, not an untalented voice actor.
But he played that part really good. And like I said, that the way it's written and the way he was just acting, like he knew, right?
I like how they left you with that. Well, were these people part of his family or his clan? And they didn't really tell you. How did you guys react at the end with Clementine when she's walking out, or Carver's walking out, and he says something like they shouldn't be trusted? Did you did you crumble a little bit? Because the choice I made was
Nah.
like Clem said, "Why shouldn't I trust them?" And he's just
Oh,
like,
you revealed your hand.
Oh shit! No,
I was like, "Who are you talking? Trust who? There's no one here." Like I was committed to the bit.
I tried being pretty naive at first, but once I realized like he knew, I was kind of trying to suss out who he was.
Nah, he was bluffing.
I was committed,
No
and at the
way. I
very
knew this
end,
guy
I
was smart.
screamed after him, "Who are you?" I didn't reveal anything about my people. I'm just like, "Who are you?"
well,
I
he
did
clearly
silence.
already knew that you were lying, so therefore
Did he?
knew
Did he
yeah,
know? I thought
totally-
he was bluffing, man. He was bluffing the whole time.
No
he
way.
picked
I
up
knew.
the picture of Sarah and said,
Yeah, these people that used to live here, I guess. I don't know where that picture came from. It's just a picture.
I told him
Clementine's-
it was my sister. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my sister. She dead."
Well, he knows Sarah though. He knows
I didn't
Sarah,
know that.
so he fucked you. You got caught in a
he-
lie. My
yeah,
lie
he
is
knew.
airtight. Airtight.
There were some points in that game where the dialogue did not go the way I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Because there's like, there was a few examples in that conversation, but one I clearly remember was later at the ski chalet. You climb up to the top and you see the cars, and then you go down. You get the reveal that there's Kenny, and then it's like
You
maybe
just forget about it.
10 minutes later when you finally just mention, hey, there were cars.
Well, lights. You
Well,
saw
lights,
light,
yeah.
flashlights,
Lights, whatever.
right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, like I was going around to each person and like, where's the dialogue to tell
Yeah.
them about these lights? Like these guys are probably on their way, and we're just having supper and
And I
catching up and
I
hanging.
was
wasn't
getting
a lot of
frustrated at that.
Good dialogue options in this
Well,
one.
no,
It was
there was.
just-
there was with that, and then Clem said they went back into the woods, and
Yeah, but
everybody
that's,
goes, "Oh, they were
that's
all
way
dead."
later.
Yeah, it's like after you find a star to put on the Christmas tree, real important survival shit. You're like, oh, by the way, there were some people coming.
Yeah,
they're coming in after us.
that's what frustrated me a lot with this episode. But there were a few moments with Carver where I wanted her to say some stuff, but they just didn't allow me to say whatever, which
Well,
I
that-
guess is a thing of the game. So whatever.
Yeah, that like that next time on that they do at the very end, like it seems like Carver's gonna be like a real complex. He's not a bad guy per se.
He's
It
very
seems
governor.
like yeah, like
Well, it's clearly like Carver's obviously the father of this baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's super obvious.
Yeah.
because he says it, and
Well,
they're
they
like,
have that whole.
Well, he doesn't say it.
no, yeah, they totally say it. There's like an argument where
Well, that woman.
you're like you guys got to go down because he's gonna start killing people, and he's like, he's gonna kill you too, blah blah. I don't care if he's the father of your kid, and
Well, and Carver even comes in and talks to her and says something about our child.
And
So
that
it's-
woman is like completely like, this is not Buddy's baby. This is somebody else's.
Yeah,
Somebody
but
else's
he
baby.
doesn't know that.
Alvin.
Alvin doesn't know that.
Now he
It's
does.
kind
By
of
the end of the
apparent
episode, he
now,
does.
yeah.
Well, by the end, maybe.
Yeah.
By the end
No,
of the
for,
episode, all
for
he knows
sure
is a
by
bullet.
the end of the episode. Did Alvin didn't get shot for me.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't get shot from me. The
Didn't
only
get
guy
shot
that got
from
killed
me.
during that standoff
Alvin is
was...
fucking dead.
Oh.
I don't
Who-
think Alvin can die. Alvin can't die.
Alvin's
I'm almost
the
positive. Alvin, the black guy.
Alvin is dead in my game.
I don't know about that. I don't know because there was
You don't know
he
about
goes
that.
well because he goes to shoot Alvin in my game and I was like, yep, let it happen. And then it sounded like he got shot, but I guess it was the sound of him hitting him with the gun or something. I'm like, oh shit, they shot Alvin. And then at the very end of the episode, you see him handcuffed with you and he's bleeding from the face because he got.
Well, how did it happen with you, Eric?
So hold
I
on,
just
hold on.
assumed
Just
he had a bullet in his head.
I don't like. It sounds like he gets shot,
Because
but I don't think
everybody
he
starts
does.
screaming and crying.
Yeah, because he shot a guy seconds before that.
I think he's...
did none of you guys break out of the house and go looking for Kenny and Luke?
Yeah,
I went to
did.
go look for Kenny and Luke.
No, I didn't. I was like, we don't have time for this. This guy is gonna start capping fools. You guys got to go and talk to him. And they're like, yeah, okay. And then they went and talked to him.
Okay, well, wait. When I went to go for Kenny and Luke, I found Kenny, and then Kenny started sniping guys from the window, and that's when Carver shoots the teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just inside, and they started shooting in, and they got a guy of Carver's, and Carver's like, well, blood for blood. Bang, shot the other guy.
The
Yep.
teacher.
Yeah.
Was he the gay guy?
Walter.
The bald
The gay
guy?
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walter, yeah.
Are they gay?
Yeah, his
know.
partner, Matthew, that's why he was so, like, freaked out, because you didn't get partner.
We skipped over that entire scene on the bridge.
Yeah, let's go back to that scene. That scene was a good scene, too.
Yeah, well, Nick shoots a guy.
Yeah, Nick's retarded. Nick
That's the
shoots
whole
a guy.
point. That's the whole
End
point of
of-
that scene. You're like,
But-
which I thought that, to be fair, I thought because this guy, you meet this guy on the bridge, he's like, I got food and shelter. I mean, you guys should come hang out. And you're like, I don't know about
he was
him.
super friendly, and I don't trust people in this game.
No.
Which is why, like, even
So-
when they allowed us in the chalet, I'm like, you guys are super trusting, and I
As
don't.
we
I
got
don't-
further into this episode, I was starting to wonder. First of all, like I put it together that Walter and Matthew, like this guy was supposed to be with that group, but
Oh, yeah, there's
He
like
was-
5 dialogue options where Clementine
yeah.
tries to tell him.
So why is Matthew? First of all, like they say, oh, he likes to go out on his own, but why is he down at this chalet by the bridge and then embellishing about the types of supplies that he has down there? Like he's like, yeah, I got
He wasn't
tons of
embellishing.
food.
They have a lot of food up at the chalet. He wasn't
He said
wasn't
in the
living. No, he said, "Come with me. I have lots of food."
Oh,
He didn't
see,
say
I put it
we're
together
going to
as
this. He didn't say we're going to this little house at the end of the bridge.
okay. That's right.
That's sort of what I got, though.
Well, that's to mislead you so that you don't immediately go, oh man, we shot one of this group's members. They're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
But there's all these another thing with the dialogue that I hated was there's all these like, I think that we shot Matthew was one of the options, and she's like, I think that Matthew is, and he's like, oh, Matthew will be back soon. Don't worry about Matthew, and just
Yeah,
cuts you off.
I
You're
kept
like,
trying to say it too, but
yeah, you're like, I would just say it. Like, I'm not gonna let this guy. Like, listen, I think we shot.
Well, that would
I think
completely
we shot your guy.
that would completely deflate the scene where Matthew finds Walter finds the knife.
Yeah, because that was a good part, too.
I thought he
Did
was
you
gonna
guys
stab
convince
himself
him
in
to
the
forgive him?
heart.
So back on the bridge when they're having that standoff,
Because it all goes to shit.
I didn't
first, right?
completely trust him. Like, he was super nice, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to trust you, but this is just not how this world works. So
Yeah, I didn't
whatever.
trust him either.
Let's
and then when Nick
approach
shot him,
cautiously. Yeah,
I was
when Nick
like,
shot
yeah,
him-
good job, Nick. Way to keep
I'm
us
like,
safe.
you were kind of being an out. You're an out. That was a dick move, but you know what? That was probably the prudent move.
I don't know.
Sure.
I trusted him. Like that guy looks like Oliver. I trust Oliver.
That guy's name is Matthew.
But he
It's
looked like
me.
Oliver.
I trust him.
I'm just so jaded with people as far as this Walking Dead world goes. That
I
like
just think it's kind of funny that the two guys who are the gay couple in the game are both just unbelievably generous with their resources.
Nope,
Like they
they
help
don't.
anybody who comes around and just give them boxes and
Yeah,
boxes
let's
of
give
food.
you this big
That was
box of
Bonnie. That was Bonnie got a box of food from
Yeah.
fucking
Walter.
No, what was that? But she's a character.
From
What was that
season
thing?
1?
No, that thing they released in between. Wasn't she in 400 Days or something?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
She was a character
I
in
don't
400 Days. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't play it, so I don't know. That's
That
cool.
It's that red-haired chick. I know her name. I know she's Bonnie. I just don't remember what she was from. I'm pretty sure it's 400 Days.
Somebody mentions it in the chat. He was surprised to see Bonnie. So I'm guessing that you're right.
Was
Um,
Walter in 400 Days too?
I don't know.
I don't know.
gotta play 400 Days. I never played it. I watched Kevin play it once.
So
and
to
was
that
it.
end,
I
to
don't
that
think
end
you
about
did.
like
Yeah, I did. I was. Yeah.
Oh, maybe you were there.
to that end about not trusting people, even through that Carver conversation, I was thinking like, man, maybe he is telling the truth. Maybe these guys are kind of the Carlos and his crew are kind of not good, and maybe this Carver guy, even though it was a far stretch because they made Carver menacing, it just in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know who to trust. And it's totally this world, playing through these games and reading through the books, that like it's super hard to trust anybody, and it's never really a smart move to trust anybody. So this is what I really like.
But that's what I really liked about Walter and Matthew, is the fact that after Walter discovers Matthew's been killed, he still decides to find it in himself to forgive. Like he doesn't follow that typical I'm just going to lose my mind and start killing people because hey, it's the end of the world. Like he's trying to preserve a modicum of human decency.
Yeah, and he talked about like he had that conversation about like politics with Clementine, which was pretty decent too.
But I know it's weird though, because at the end, when it gave me the stats of everything that I did, I was like most of my decisions were in the minority. Like me and only 32% of people convinced him to forgive Nick. So a lot of people apparently that went the other way for.
When did you play it? Like earlier in the week?
I played it Thursday, 2 days after it came out.
I finished it this morning, and I was in the majority by convincing him not to lash out.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm
so
guessing that changes like a lot in these early days.
Did you guys sit with Kenny or did you sit with Luke?
Fucking
Sat
Luke.
with Kenny. My boy Kenny.
Yeah,
That guy is like unhinged.
I sat
now.
with Luke.
See, and that was the one decision I was in the minority on. There was only like 37% of people or 32% of people that sat with Luke, but
It's because everybody wanted to be like, "Hey, Kenny,
Well, no,
how
I
did you
looked
get
at it-
away?"
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know how he got away.
I asked Christy about this, and we were talking about it when that situation came up, and I said, yes, Kenny's back. We have ties to him from season 1. However, I'm not convinced that Kenny is going to be part of the rest of this entire episode, so therefore I don't want to alienate the people who have taken me in. This is my new crew of people.
Trying to game the game.
Yeah, you're playing it as a game though.
Fuck it. Just
Kenny,
yeah. Just you
spent
gotta.
so much time with Kenny. You've been through a whole lot with Kenny.
There's, like you said, Matt, I think
I
there's
want
something
to
wrong
reconnect.
with Kenny. He seems
Yeah, oh, no,
off.
he totally-
He's different.
Yeah.
The
he-
only thing that this episode proved is just how much of a fucking idiot Kenny is.
Yeah, he's
No.
fucked up now. No, he is.
No,
he is
dumb. Like he's shooting people for no reason. I bet you he either killed Luke or chased him off.
Didn't you
because-
Did you go after Luke?
Yeah, I tried to find Luke because
Yeah.
I found Kenny first, and I'm like, well, where's Luke? And he's
Oh,
like,
you just
oh,
find Kenny.
and
yeah,
after
you
he kills
can't find Luke.
after he kills
Hmm.
Alan, you guys give yourself up.
Yeah, But yeah, it's
Interesting.
like,
I don't think he killed Luke.
you
Because
go
then he pulls
after
Sarah
Luke,
out.
and you say to him, hey, where's Luke? He was with you. And Kenny's response is, oh, Luke was being a baby, so he just went off on his own.
Oh,
Like,
weird. I
that
didn't get that.
is
I didn't get
not something that you say. Like, I'm sorry, but that's a bullshit response to a serious question.
Okay, so you said after you kill after Carver kills Alan,
Then he comes out.
because
Carver kills Alan, and then
Who's
Uh,
Alan?
I think that's
Alvin. Sorry, Kenny goes to take a shot on Carver, so Carver brings out the little girl, Sarah, and puts a gun to her head, and that's when you guys decide to give yourself up.
I think this is where it's sort of fracturing, because you're at some gazebo. In my game, we were at some gazebo and we take the shot at the guy who's patrolling the window.
Yep.
Then Carver goes and kills the teacher.
Yep.
and then we moved to like a hockey rink or whatever to try to get a better shot. But this is when he has Alvin in a hostage situation, and then me being like, fucking, I've already got that teacher's guy's blood on my hands. I cannot. We have to give up. And so that's when I gave up.
I told him to take the shot.
Oh, really?
I said take the shot, so he shoots, hits Carver in the shoulder. Carver gets up, kills Alvin.
Oh, shit.
And then pulls Sarah out and puts a gun to her head, and that's when you guys give up.
Wow, more blood on your hands.
Yeah. And you didn't have a choice. Like you just gave up.
How do you
So that's
sleep,
why
Eric?
I guarantee you Alvin is dead. And there was actually an option.
Well, in
where
your
it's like,
game, he is.
there was an option where Clem could have said, "Give me the gun," and I'm assuming you could have taken the shot. But either way, it's probably you're not going to be able to kill Carver because it seems like he's a pretty integral part of this season.
Yeah. Crazy. That's pretty cool how this one has played out a lot different for each of us.
I think you guys were talking. I didn't pick up on the fact that Kenny may have killed Luke.
I didn't get that either, but
I
that's
did pick up on when you're first crossing the bridge, when you first get to the bridge and you take out those two zombies, I picked up on a little awkward, and I'm reluctant to use the word sexual tension because of the age difference, but I picked up on something between Luke and Clementine where they made googly eyes at each other. Like the camera obviously panned back and forth 2 or 3 times.
I think you're no.
But no, that's hold on, because
Let me
400
finish.
days later, one of the guys was a pedophile, and I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was that Luke guy.
No,
Is
I'm looking at the
400
character list, and it's
Is 400
it's
days after season 2?
It's Vince, Wyatt, Russell, Bonnie, and Shell. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Kenny picked up on it because there were other situations where like Kenny sees that Clem is getting close with Luke, and Kenny wants to pull her back, so he gets rid of Luke. I don't know. There's got to be some aspect to that, but
I noticed that there was a relationship building, but I think that's just because of like all the stuff that they've been through.
You save somebody else's life, they save your life, you are then friends.
And because then because I think through the whole thing it was Pete and Luke that were vouching for Clementine in the first episode.
Mhm.
So I think that's the relationship there. I like Luke.
Plus, like, Luke and Nick were buds, and now Nick is all fucked up, so he needs somebody that he can rely on to go do shit with him.
Yeah.
That's you.
And yeah, because you're sort of proving time and again that you're pretty capable. I think Luke is kind of getting that big brother vibe.
Apparently, Alvin killed George. Did you guys know that Alvin killed George?
which one is George?
George is a character mentioned in the Telltale Games The Walking Dead Season 2. He was a man known to Carver and Alvin. That is all that is known about George.
No, I don't know.
According to Carver, Alvin murdered someone in cold blood named George. Oh yeah, I do remember that conversation now.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyways.
I really like how this one has played out really different for each of us, and hearing like how things gone in your guys' different story. Like Matt,
Oliver, hello.
not going out and looking for Kenny. How did that play out inside? You explained it a little bit.
Yeah, well, we went down, and Carver basically took us by gunpoint, and then shots started flying into the building, and one guy got shot, and Carver's like, blood for blood, motherfucker, bang, killed a guy.
And that
And
was
then-
the teacher?
Yeah, that was Walter, and then I'm like, and then he's gonna kill Alvin, and I'm like, whoa, stop, everybody stop right now, and then he hits Alvin, and then the Kenny comes back inside, I think, and we all are Carver's prisoner, as far as we know.
And Luke didn't show up at
I
all?
don't know. Yeah, I guess Luke didn't come back in. I didn't even really think about it at the time, but yeah, I guess I don't think he did come back in. So he's still
He's a wild card.
might be out there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
But, I mean, like, the conversation that Kevin had with Kenny may seem like, yeah, he might have gotten killed.
Kenny's like undone. How does he have another foreign wife? Where's he finding all these foreign people in the apocalypse in the
that's
heart
what's
of
really
America?
he was
He
sketchy
just
about
has
that.
mojo.
He was
Yeah, he's
sketchy
trying-
about
he's
how
trying
they
to-
found.
He's trying to replace his family, right? He calls Clementine Duck once, and then does that happen for you guys? If you sit with
Yeah.
Kenny, he
Yeah,
calls her
he
Duck,
does.
and then freaks out.
No,
and-
if you sit with it happens either way. If you sit
Okay,
with
yeah.
Luke, then Kenny comes over and sits by you, and everybody starts fighting, and
yeah,
Kenny's
And
like,
it's-
"Pass me the can, Duck."
Yeah, so he's trying to replace his family. He's got a catch-a stand-in now, and yeah, it's weird. There's something uncomfortable going on with Kenny.
Which is kind of why I sort of regret taking his side over Luke's now, but I mean, like,
Maybe he'll come around, though. Who knows?
Kenny was a great guy.
Yeah, Kenny didn't bash my head in with that statue one time, so, feel like I owe him. That's The Walking Dead, I guess.
That's good talk.
Yeah, heck of a season. Or heck of an episode.
It's good.
Speculations. Matt, you want to predict some more? You want to tell us what you're writing for episode 3?
How did this one... Oh, this one ended. They were all tied up.
What's the girl who steals the RV? Lily? They talk about her, so I still think she might be coming back at some point.
I don't know if that would be... It's cool to have one character come back, but I think if you start bringing too many people back, it's going to be like, all right, this is old.
It seems too small.
But I mean, she for sure got away, right? I mean, she just took the RV and was like, see you later. I wouldn't be surprised if she's one of the people at Carver's camp or something, and then you're like, well, that was in the past. Bygones be bygones. Even though I shot that girl and took your RV.
Season 1 ended in Georgia. Where did this one pick up? Where did this one start?
It's still Atlanta, right?
I have no idea.
Because they're trying to make their way up to Michigan,
Georgia.
Correct?
Well, you're trying to get... Yeah, now you are. You were trying to get to Savannah at one point, weren't you, in Season 1?
Yeah, you got to Savannah in Season 1. That's where everything
Georgia?
ended.
I don't fucking know with the states.
Savannah, Georgia, yeah. So...
Yeah, you're trying to go to Michigan, I think they said, because they're like cold winters, the walkers are slow, lots of fresh water, lots of land. That's Kenny's plan, anyways. Whether that pans out or not, who knows? My guess would be it won't. Just from what we've seen. I don't know. It's good. They're keeping just when you think you know all their tricks, they somehow.
Are you guys familiar with the governor from the
back.
TV show or the
Yes.
book?
Yes, from the TV show I am.
The Carver seems a lot like the governor.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna lose an eye, get an eye patch at one point.
it seems like they're sort of just rehashing that whole story. Well, this is a early impression that I get from seeing that next on.
I bet that's what they want you to think.
Yeah, I see them kind of just throwing that into there.
Yeah, you're being led along by the hand, and they're gonna be like, "Psych!"
But how do they switch that back on us? Is he actually a good guy?
I think he's
that's
gonna
what's
be
gonna
a totally
happen.
good guy. Yeah, he's like even when he killed that dude, he's like, well, I didn't want to do this, but it's blood for blood. He's got a code that he sticks to, but I bet he'll be a totally fine guy. I don't think he'll do the whole the guy in control of the town who is really like a super crazy. He's got a zombie daughter locked up and a bunch of heads in jars and. Yeah, no, I don't. I think he'll be a fine guy. Maybe you'll roll with him. He'll come with you to season 3. He'll be your best bud. I bet he saves you at one point in season 3. I bet he saves your life.
Episode 3. It's only 3 more episodes. No, wait. 2 more episodes. What?
3.
Well, 3, 4, and 5.
3 more episodes. They gotta. There's still no end. Like,
That's
sure,
the
now
thing
you're
with The Walking
captured.
Dead is that there is never an end.
I guess you're captured, and now I guess you got to get out. But is that going to be what all this season is going to be focused on?
Who knows? It could last an episode. It could last half an episode. Like, who knows? It's impossible to. As much as I can see into the future, even that is clouded to me. Anybody play any other games here? Any other games worth mentioning? Do anything exciting in the last couple of weeks they want to bring up into this open forum of discussion?
That was pretty much the only game I.
After the bad taste of Thief, I was afraid to try anything else new.
Games are coming, man. Titanfall, Dark Souls. Dark Souls isn't until...
It's Tuesday.
Dark Souls... Isn't it the week after?
No, it's this week. It is this Tuesday.
All right, I'll take your word for it. You seem like you...
It is this Tuesday.
Yeah, games are coming.
And I have to
Infamous is
pack.
right away.
I'm in the process of moving, too. Fuck.
Speaking of games that might disappoint, I think I'm going to buy Lords of Shadow 2 this week.
Oh.
I don't think that's going to disappoint me as much as Thief. But
got really bad reviews too.
Vinco,
I don't like hearing that.
Vinco endorses.
You seem to like Castlevania though, so
Yeah,
I can get
so
behind it.
I'm looking forward to that, and Thief just no thanks.
Let's
But
see.
yeah, I'll have about 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks before Metal Gear and Infamous come out.
Yeah, Titanfall on Tuesday, Dark Souls on Tuesday, Ground Zeroes the week after.
What is it, 20th?
Ground Zeroes is on the 18th, which is a Tuesday.
So-
Infamous is on the Friday.
21, yeah.
I fucking hate when they do that.
I don't know.
And
I'm getting
then,
to that point where I'm casually in the market for a PS4.
And then
because
Reaper
Ground
of
Zero.
Souls is
I
up the
think
week after.
Infamous is probably the one game that you probably justified in getting.
And you see, I didn't play Infamous 2 though. Like I didn't really get off on Infamous.
Oh man, Infamous is a good story, good game.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like it was okay. I think it was all right. I'm gonna buy
My
this new one.
mom played the shit out of those games, but
And Infamous Second Son is built solely for the PS4, so I think this game is going to run incredibly.
There's stock problems with PS4 in the United States right now.
and yeah, because about 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking about consoles, and like, yeah, they're all over the place. They're in Target everywhere, and I haven't seen one in a store for probably
You were
2
the one
weeks.
who was saying they were all over. I always thought they were hard to get. That's why I ordered mine launch week. Launch week, this motherfucker showed up.
There
Yeah.
are Xbox Ones everywhere.
I don't think they're readily available here, either or.
No, there's supplier problems right now.
I'm
Even
super glad I ordered mine online.
Yeah, I'm glad I just
mean,
have
it's
my
actually
consoles
stock on
now.
Amazon. It's one of those things where I don't need it.
Do it.
So if
Order
I-
on Amazon. Think of all
If
the
I
Battlefield
stumble upon
play.
it, dude, I've got so much shit happening in my life in the next week.
Yeah, you're gonna need that Battlefield to unwind. What are you gonna?
I have
stay
Dark
up all
Souls.
night? Yeah, stay up all night with a screaming kid, and
You're
then
gonna need
go and
something
play
to
Dark
do.
Souls.
Yeah, that's gonna just drive me to true madness
You're gonna
of Dark
strangle.
Souls.
You're gonna strangle your kid.
Shake
'Cause you
and
can't-
baby.
Damn sure
you
not
can't-
gonna.
You can't pause Dark Souls either, right? It's like the whole, like when you're in your inventory screen, the world is still rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
good
that's
luck.
gonna be
Good
a
luck.
hit game to play with a kid. Titanfall, I can't pause it either. God damn it!
Oh, Titanfall.
the controller and pick up the baby?
I should just
Titanfall's
throw
a
all my
10-minute
consoles out the
fucking-
window.
Titanfall, it's 10-minute games, right? It's
Yeah.
and even if you have to, whatever, I gotta quit this game, whatever.
I'm really excited for that. Like thinking back, I really enjoyed that beta. I'm ready for another good shooter.
I'll get it and play it, but like, I
Get
like
it on-
Battlefield.
Get it
Battlefield's
on
so
PC,
good.
man.
No, I'm not getting it on PC.
You just need an excuse to
Fuck
use your
PC.
Xbox One.
Exactly. Of course, I've admitted that. Of course, I need an excuse to use my Xbox One. I'm paying for Xbox Live Gold right now. Fucking why? Why? I need it.
Get yourself PSN Plus.
I have PSN Plus.
What's the free game nowadays? There's a good free game.
Tomb Raider.
No, Tomb Raider on the PS3.
Oh, yeah, Dead Nation.
Nation.
That game's a fun game. That game is a very fun game. Have you even played it?
The first Dead Nation on
Yeah.
PS3 was pretty crappy.
I played it on PS3 when it was a piece of shit. Guess what? It's the exact
No
same game.
way. It
but
was a fun
now,
game on PS3.
now you can stream out, and people on the stream can vote in power-ups if they want, man.
Yeah, I don't know what
The
that
power
means.
of the PS4.
But that's a good game.
No, Dead Nation is a shitty twin-stick shooter.
Yeah, it's a good twin.
No, we need Smash
No,
TV
it's a
back.
shitty. Yeah,
Oh man.
I'll do some Smash TV.
Okay, you guys.
That's the only Xbox Live Arcade game I ever purchased.
Oh, I didn't even know it was on. I was talking like Pat Sajak, old school fucking
Yeah.
Smash TV.
Oh no, they did it. They did an
Sajak
Xbox
in
360
that?
up-res.
Pat Sajak and the Twins.
Dude, Smash TV's so
I
good.
don't know what that's all about.
Let's talk about some news here. How about? You guys want to talk about some news?
Sure.
Watch Dogs has a release date.
Thank God.
When is
May 24th? May
7th.
27th? Yeah, okay. There. May 20-something, yeah.
I
27th.
will for sure have a PS4 by then because I want to play that game.
Yeah, I guess they needed an extra 6 months just to polish it up. That's what all the delay was, and then there was some other stuff with like trademarks dropping, but apparently that was all unrelated.
With this game, I'm totally okay that they pushed the release date back. Like,
Yeah, sure.
people get so uppity about that. Like, I wanted that to be a launch out. Okay, if it would have been a launch out, it probably would have been a hot turd.
I mean, it looks okay. The more I see of it, the kind of less I'm interested because they presented it as like it's this open world, here's the city, you have all these tools, just do whatever you want. And then the more we see of it, it's like, well, no, you're getting pulled into cutscenes and these guys are sending you out on, like, it looks more linear than GTA almost. Yeah. Which I know I said I wanted, but the whole reason that the whole thing they were hyping up was like, look at this huge open city, you're going to be doing your thing and other players are going to be watching you, and it's going to be, you got the smart glass app, it's going to be crazy. And it looks okay. There's a 8-player free roam multiplayer, which I've never been a fan of, just like Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto. A multiplayer mode with no objectives. No thanks.
So what do?
You run around the city, man.
Do they mention anything? Because through some of the trailers, it would show, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about, but some of the trailers I saw, as it's sort of panning out, you could see like usernames above like cameras or whatever. Did they ever mention what that's all about?
No, that's the thing, was where it was that kind of Demon Souls multiplayer of you invading other people's worlds, and I don't. I haven't read anything on that. Like, I don't know if that's even still in there. I know they announced this 8-player free roam mode, which if they took out, they kind of invade the other guy's world for this 8-player thing. That sort of sounds not like what I wanted, but I don't know. It's coming out and it looks okay. It's got like a story trailer. Guess what? Someone is sent to hit you. Like, there's a hit out on you, and they accidentally kill your daughter. Stop me if you've heard this before. And then you're out for revenge. You guys with me?
Do you play as Liam Neeson?
Yep.
Okay, I'm in. Liam
Neeson in Taken 4. The 4 is now, or the A is now 4. Yeah.
It's a 4. Sure. I've kind of gone like a little tepid on that game ever since, because they showed it a bunch of years ago, and all the trailers were super cool. I was super excited for that one.
When did they first start showing it?
A long time ago. Did they show it at the E3 you went to, Matt?
Yes,
they did. I thought that was the first time they showed it.
I think that's when they showed it.
Okay, so that's not a bunch of years.
That wasn't the first time. That was like,
I think it was.
No, it didn't debut at E3. We knew about it and we had seen shit of it, but we did get to see it at the E3 we were at. Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
Almost 3 years. 3 years in the summer. Probably about 3
years ago.
Yeah, by the time it comes out, it'll be about 3 years, I think.
Jeez. And yeah, I haven't seen anything of it lately, but I'm sure I'm still want to play it.
Yeah, well, Grand Theft Auto kind of cooled me on the whole open world thing. It's like, sure. It's a little hot on the heels of Grand Theft Auto for me, but I'll play it. I'll steal cars.
If it's a little bit more linear than Grand Theft Auto, like you mentioned, I'm okay with that.
See, this was the one where I want, because I don't like doing the shit in Grand Theft Auto. I don't like playing darts or playing ping pong, all that shit. So I wanted it to be more linear. But here, I like doing the thing where you put the barricades down and the police car comes smashing into him and flips over, and it's just going crazy. You're turning the power out. Like, that stuff all sounds awesome. I want to totally be able to do all that. Like, yeah, give me the sandbox. Let me do all that stuff.
How do you suppose that would work?
I don't know.
It's never going to be as open as they say
No,
it is.
of course not. Of course not. We'll find out on May 27th. Dragon Age showed off some new environment trailers this week.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that just right before.
I'm back on board with Dragon Age.
That game is looking sharp.
Yeah, it is.
Sharp, especially after the amazing game, AAA team that worked on 2. Some of the best game designers in the business,
Clap for us, you two.
Mm-hmm.
Clap for us.
That game looks awesome.
You guys
I can't wait.
Do you think that you're going to need to know anything about Dragon Age 2 to play Inquisition?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yes, I do.
I don't think it's going to be like. I don't think it's going to be required like knowledge.
Your saves carry over.
Yeah, because I have saves. I haven't played that game
All
ever.
the way from 1. I've never played the retail version, but now I have to. I got to go back and play Dragon Age and get my saves ready. And
Well, maybe that's a good reason to start it again, but
how are they going to do that? Because it'll have to be across console if you're playing it on next gen.
I think it's just going to be that you upload the save to the Plus Cloud, and then it just pulls it down.
Or your Origin thing.
I
That
think it's
sounds
gonna be
like
an
the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Fuck. It sucks. I remember when Dragon Age came out, they had it. You had to go through the dumb BioWare account. You had to go make a BioWare account. So I ended up having. It was a thing too where like you pre-ordered it and you got Mass Effect armor and all that stuff. And I ended up not getting any of the pre-order bonuses because it was tied to a different account than my Mass Effect was tied to because I had one on PC and one on Xbox and they couldn't work it out and it's a nightmare. There's too many services now. You play Origin, all this. I had to sign up for a Square Enix account when I played Thief for some fucking reason.
Oh,
You didn't have to.
It's dumb.
You could have pressed "Don't do this." And
I
just
did
not.
Maybe I wanted to. Maybe there's like hot perks for signing up. I don't know. There's too many services though. It gets so confused, and then you get into situations where stuff is tied to different services, so you don't have access to it. Like me, where they got to merge my PS4 and my PC Origin account, and it's no good, man. What else happened in news? Jackie T left Sony this week. Jack Trenton,
Talk about going out on top.
no longer with Sony.
Did he leave of his own accord?
Yes.
What's he gonna do? Play golf? Yachting?
He just didn't renew his contract. I don't know. It doesn't say what he's going to do. Yeah, he's off. Probably him and Kevin Butler are going to go hang out.
Him and Greg Zeschuk are gonna do the beer TV.
I liked him. I liked his E3 addresses.
I actually really liked him as well.
I liked his last one where they like totally had it up on Xbox and he was like real cocksure, like, oh, by the way, it's $100 cheaper.
It came across a little arrogant, but it was cool.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was perfect. Wasn't there another big news story this week? I'm trying to remember.
What was Jack Trenton's?
Oh, go ahead.
What was what?
What was Jack Trenton's title?
He was the CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment America.
Chief Executive Officer.
Sean Layden, who is Vice President COO of Network International, is going to take over. Yeah.
Which, I mean, for us, the end user, it means nothing. Nothing will probably change there.
I don't know how much these guys really have and how much say they really have in the course of the company, but...
Well, CEO could probably, if you're like, I think that Watch Dogs looks like shit, you could probably stop a game. I wonder the extent of their power.
How much do you think these guys really sit down and actually play games? I wonder the extent of their power.
They're the face that we see at E3, so like
they're businessmen. I don't think they're hardcore gamers. Like they're not pumped that Titanfall is coming out. They're not pumped that Dark Souls is coming out.
I bet they are. You gotta know your craft. It's not like, especially if you're the CEO of the entertainment division, you're not. I'm sure that he is required to play a certain amount of games because when that news story comes out of like, hey, Jack Trenton doesn't actually own a PlayStation. He's never played any of these games. It's like, well...
Jack Trenton has an Xbox.
Yeah, Jackie T just bought Titanfall on the Xbox.
That news story is just kind of flimsy, and it's only valid to guys like us.
It's just a thing, like, you do it for your job. Even if he isn't way into games, I bet he pretends that he is.
Yeah.
Because you have to be.
But again, like they're the faces that we as guys, talking heads on the internet, see at E3, and here he is sticking it to Xbox, and he's doing it with the panache that Jackie Trenton does. Like this next guy needs to be able to be on par with that.
Yeah, maybe he'll step it up. I mean, I either hope he's really good or I hope he's really, really bad. Because like the only thing better than a great E3 press conference is when like. What was that guy's name? Mr. Caffeine or something from Ubisoft?
I don't know what that was.
Or they had the drummer from the Nintendo guys. They were doing Wii music.
Yeah, when Miyamoto was fucking orchestrating and...
That was bad.
Yeah, bad E3 conferences are really good. Really good.
There was another news story about the GameStop CEO. They were doing a conference or a panel or something, and he didn't know that his microphone was still on. So he started talking to, I think it was either the VP or something like that, and he went on to make some comments about how he can't believe anybody still wants to work in a GameStop store. Like, I know that our stores just attract, and putting it in simple terms, he says something to the effect of just attracts the dregs of society, like the worst types of people, and I can't believe anybody would still even want to work there, and like I wouldn't want to work in that type of shit environment, and we know we exploit our employees and shit like that, and he just went on and on and on about it. And it's true. Like, they don't give a shit about you. It's the worst, one of the worst places to work. I didn't like it.
Welcome to any
Retail.
company ever. You think the CEO of Rogers Broadcasting gives a fuck about me, lowly midday announcer? No.
No, absolutely not.
Of course not. Just don't, I don't know. You kind of can't delude yourself into, when you hear that from your CEO, you're like, yeah, that's a bummer, but I mean, you're not surprising anybody.
I want to see if I can find his actual quote, though, because it was pretty funny how he worded it.
I was in EB this week.
You were what?
I was in EB Games this week.
Oh, yeah. What'd you buy, Oliver? The hot new release.
NHL 13.
Uh-huh.
What year is it?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure NHL 15 might be out by now.
Because in that same purchase, I also bought a print magazine.
Shit.
They still
All right,
make those? What?
Yeah,
What is that,
there
a
it is.
Game Informer?
He upsold me on the Game Informer purchase.
Would you like
Yeah,
a Game
guys-
Informer to go with your used copy of NHL 13?
Guys that work there, like you
What
said,
console did you buy it on? Please tell me first. What console?
PlayStation 3.
Okay. At least it wasn't like the original Xbox, OG Xbox or something. GameCube.
So the story is my brother-in-law broke his leg, so he's laid up, sitting on the couch, and I'm like, you should try playing some games.
He just had enough one day. He's like, fucking leg. Arrgh!
He fell off a ladder at work.
Oh, jeez.
Got a cut in one of the rungs.
WCB
Right
all
now.
over that or what?
Yeah, he's
Nice.
gonna be taken care of. He's fine. It'll heal up properly, but it's gonna be a long like men time. So I'm like, hey, you should probably play some games. He's like, awesome, yeah, that's a good idea. He's not a game player by any means. So he's like, do you got any of those NHLs? I'm like, no, but I'll find you one. He's like, got it in the Call of Duties? I'm like, yeah, I'll get you Call of Duty. And I also threw in like Uncharted in there. I threw in God of War, stuff that he like easy to pick up, stuff that I hope he tries and likes. But I'm pretty sure all he's gonna play is NHL.
Didn't even get him 14, huh? Couldn't even go the whole way. Couldn't even get him the newest one.
NHL 13 was $20. NHL 14 was probably $60. It's a big margin there. And yes, I've gone back on my buying used code, but whatever. Like
It was for someone else, not you.
that's a lot of money to fucking throw away on NHL 14, even though it's probably a better game than Thief.
Why doesn't? So he's not. Does he not have consoles? Are you like lending him a console too?
No, he has a PlayStation 3, but honest to God, all he uses.
Why doesn't he just fucking buy it? And what does he give you money? You're like, you got a broken leg. Give me $60. I'll go get you some good games.
It was also his birthday.
Oh, okay. I'm back with you now.
I bought him a $20 game.
Nice.
And yeah, like I saw the Game Informer on the desk. I'm like, awesome. I love Yoji Shinkawa art, so I'm gonna buy that. And there's a big I think it's like a 10-page article, like different articles, but it's a 10-page spread on Metal Gear, Phantom Pain, and Ground Zeroes that I'm actually looking forward to read.
That's weird because Game Informer has such a shitty website that it makes me. If I saw a Game Informer magazine, I would just assume it was like the website and be like, no thanks.
They have pretty awesome covers. I've been a very big fan of the Game Informer covers, which
You could just
That's
print
insane.
those.
Yeah.
You could just print those off if you wanted to.
print those. Holy, what year do you live in? I just put them on my desktops.
Yeah, you get your 3D printer to print out the Yoji Shinkawa arts. Welcome to the future, motherfucker.
That's my little aside. Fucking wow, it was weird. It was weird buying a used game. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, I really don't want to pay $60 for the new one, but I will definitely pay $20 for the old one.
I still got $50 at EB from when I pre-ordered my Xbox One, and they made me put $50 down.
$50?
They didn't just put that towards the purchase?
I never got it. I never went and picked it up.
Just buy like an Xbox card or a PlayStation card.
Yeah, I could. Or I could wait for a game.
Can't you just
Come
go and
out.
get your money back?
No.
You can probably
No,
get
it's
your
store
back,
credit
too.
now.
Oh, that's
They won't just give me my money back, but store credit.
just buy just buy a PSN card.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sort of waiting for a game to come out that I don't give a shit enough about to download on day one, but then I have to have a disc. Like, I don't...
Yeah, and you have to have a disc.
But that hard drive is going to fill up on the Xbox. It's already like 20% full, and I have Rise on there, and that's it.
Delete it. Delete Thief.
I'm going to. I finished Rise. I don't know if I talked about that. That game is... launch game. What?
Did it redeem itself?
No. It was never terrible. It's just not great. Launch game, whatever. That's it. It's kind of all the news I have. There's a little bit of info about the...
Did you guys read that interview with Kojima? About how the Phantom Pain is going to be he's afraid that it's going to be too big to finish. There's just going to be too much shit in there. He said Phantom Pain has a risk that people won't be able to finish the story as it'll be more than 200 times bigger than Ground Zeroes.
He did a lot of this with Metal Gear 4 and how they released it. They forced him to release it before he was ready to release it, and I thought it was perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly.
Always says that shit though. Hey guys, Metal Gear 3 is my last Metal Gear game. Also, it's going to be 700 hours and it's going to be 3 discs. It's the greatest thing the PlayStation's ever seen.
I don't know if he's ever said that. But...
He's the fucking Peter Molyneux of Japan.
Yeah, except he goes through with what he says.
His
except
games
his shit's
come out
good
and don't suck
And
ass.
shit is good.
A little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a lot of Metal Gear news lately. There's I just read an article where the hostages that you save in Ground Zeroes will help with Mother Base in Phantom Pain, and for anybody that's played Peace Walker knows that these special characters help out a lot in those games. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, it's just a Metal Gear thing. So
do they have any idea when this is going to be out? Are we thinking 2015 or what?
Phantom Pain?
Yeah.
Summer 2015.
No. Really? Did they say that?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay. Let's see. Phantom Pain release date by the end of 2015.
Fuck, that's so far away.
Third quarter of fiscal year 2015.
So that's summer. Summer, fallish.
It's kind of all the news. There's a couple details coming out about the Telltale's Tales from the Borderlands or whatever it's called. Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands. Not really enough that I want to talk about it yet.
I don't know if I'm going to get behind that.
Kojima has warned fans against expecting Phantom Pain anytime soon, as there is apparently still a good deal of work that still needs to be done. So end of 2015, sure.
So it's probably going to drift into 2016.
I don't think that's official.
No, nothing is official, but they're saying right now the best guess they have is summer 2015.
How far into the life cycle of the PS3 did Metal Gear 4 come out?
Early.
That was like
a
2009, wasn't it?
It was like within the first 2 years.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2009. So which, that'd be like 2.5, 3 years. It came out in 2000.
Exactly. Let's do some emails. Podcast at ManaTank.com is the email address. You want to write in some emails. Shane writes in. Oh, no, sorry. We will get to Shane's question, but there was one that I really wanted to read here first, directed to Oliver. Here we go. Jared writes in, says, "Hello, my name is Jared, and I was wondering if Swag knows that naming his dog Hideo is the most dishonorable thing to do to a Japanese person. Why do you hate Hideo Kojima so much?"
I thought about that, actually.
Why are you calling Kojima a dog?
It's weird that he mentioned that, because I actually did think about that the other day. I'm like, I wonder if I did mention this to that guy, that I named my dog after him, if he would take that as a slight.
I bet he would. I bet he would spit in your face and then, what do they call that? Harikari or whatever it is? Oh.
I don't think he'd kill himself.
You brought such shame to him by You named your little punk dog.
No, see, that's the difference in cultures.
His ancestors are spinning in their graves.
He might find it as an insult to him, but I find it as...
Would you be insulted if I named my dog Oliver?
No.
Okay.
Because it's not particularly like my name exclusively. It can be anybody's name. But that's pretty funny. Good call, bud.
Shane writes in, says, this kind of goes back to when, Oliver, you were saying you hoped South Park failed. He says, quick question for you all. Have you guys just been delighted for a team when a game of their own launched successfully or unsuccessfully? That's a confusing way to put it. He says, I'm delighted for the team that made the new South Park game. I would just like to say, well done on a great launch. Congrats on good enough gameplay. Doesn't mean I'll buy the game. He's just happy for them. On the other hand, he was delighted when War Z was such a flop, and he would like to give that team a tut-tut-tut.
Tut-tut.
What games are you guys happy for that were a success or a failure?
I'm glad that the Souls series picked up as much as it did, because Demon's Souls really was not very...
that.
I'm actually... Like, I don't like those games at all, but I'm glad like they have a following, because...
Demon's Souls was so unique when it came out. There was nothing else even remotely close to what that game offered. And that it still kind of flew under the radar, even though it went on to become a greatest hits title. And then it started to pick up steam late in its life cycle, and then they're like, okay, well, let's do Souls. And Dark Souls, although I didn't like it as much as I like Demon's Souls, I'm still happy that this game has become mainstream enough to the point where they're going to keep building them.
The people who are passionate about that game are super passionate, and that's what I appreciate about it.
It was weird because it was like 2 years after that game came out when you finally started hearing about it. And then they went, hey, we're going to shut the servers down, and everyone was like, no! And then they left them up.
I was a day one adopter of Demon's Souls because I saw it in passing, and my uncle called me up and said, hey, what do you think of this? So we started reading more about it. We're like, all right, let's try it. So we bought it when it first came out, and it got to the point where every day on our way home from work, we were calling each other and talking about the game. Like, every day for months. Well, he lived in Milwaukee, so...
Text messages.
You don't text while you drive.
That's
how
faxing.
People die.
Matt, to what you said, like 2 years later, is when people started talking about it, and like when they decided to shut down the servers,
Souls.
people were all up in arms. It goes to that it's not an old adage, but the internet is just full of people who like to complain. Like that's the vocal minority. People who are okay with things, people who are happy about things, they're not on the internet. Some of them are not on the internet singing its praises. They're just happy with things, and then they're content.
It wasn't an outcry of people like, you can't shut that down. It was people who love the game, and like tons of people are like, we still play this game. You're going to shut the servers down? Like, we're still playing all the time. You can't shut the servers. It was such a huge outcry. Like, to the point where they went, all right, we'll leave them up, which is...
Well, that's because they were going to shut the server
crazy.
down after Dark Souls came out. So Dark Souls really brought the series into the mainstream of gaming, and then people are like, well, where did this stem from? So those people who like to figure that out went and played Demon's Souls, and then that's kind of when everything blew up.
So you're happy for that team? You're happy the Souls games?
Yeah,
you're happy for...
I think it's kind of shitty to say, oh, I'm glad this game failed, because like there are actually people and their lives attached to these games. Like, people committed themselves to this. And yeah, like Thief, it sucks that game was such a piece of shit, but you have to realize that there were still people that poured parts of their life into this game.
I feel bad for the testers. It was after I read that story about the layoffs at Eidos Montreal, like the Thieves, the studio that made Thief came out, and I played it, and then a bunch of people got laid off. I went, haha, serves them right, make it such a shit game. And then I went,
way to go, pal.
No, wait, that's probably not at all the fucking attitude that you need here.
Think about Matt, you may be in a job where if you start doing a shitty job, you get fired. But any other job, like, you're going to make mistakes, and some of those mistakes may be bigger than others. I'm fortunate enough to work in an industry where if I implement a policy or procedure with the schools that I work at that fails, I'm not going to get fired. So I don't know. I don't like looking at people who have jobs that if they fail at something, they're going to lose their job. I don't know. I guess I don't take pleasure in that.
Fuck those people. They screw up so bad that they deserve to lose their job.
You haven't
Fuck 'em.
spoken in like 20 minutes.
Longer. Unmutes his mic to say fuck those people.
You're such a heartless asshole.
When I was working on Dragon Age 2, Matt, and you could probably confirm this, like we thought we had like a really good game on our hands, and it's the sparkle dust.
Yeah,
It's in your eyes.
You spend so much time
Yeah,
with
and you put
something that you just lose perspective.
a lot of effort into it, and the guys who were making Thief were probably like, you know, this is actually a decent game. They probably thought it was a decent game up until like maybe towards the end.
I don't know. I like to think that if I was working on Thief, I would have been that guy, because I was even that guy with Dragon Age, where in one meeting I went, you guys know that like these like every environment is almost exactly the same, because I was brand new there. And they're like, well, what do you think of the game? What would you say we could improve? I'm like, well, you guys are just copy pasting these environments. They're like, we're out of time. I'm like, well, at least one of us said it. I like to think that someone on the Thief team went, hey, you guys know this game is really shitty, right?
I had very little eyes on Dragon Age 2, but I know, like, because I was almost from the very beginning, and a lot of us were like, man, this is going to be a good game. This is going to totally pick up where Dragon Age left off. We're going to have a more focused story. It's going to be super interesting. And even right till the end, right till even when those first reviews started coming in, they would only mention like the positive ones.
Yeah.
Right? Or the positive parts of reviews, and that's all we really heard about, unless you actually
have to, unless you want to go fucking crazy, and you're like, we just spent the last. Well, with Dragon Age, I guess everyone was lucky it was only 13 months. But imagine a game like the first Dragon Age where they spent 5 or 6 years working on it. Like, hey, we just spent 5 years on this piece of shit that nobody bought. Also, we're getting laid off now.
Anyways,
Great.
going back to the South Park thing, I'm only hating on South Park. I'm not hating on the game.
Yeah, but there's a certain satisfaction to going, that game looks shitty, and then that game comes out, and it is super shitty, and the team goes under, and you never hear of it again. You're like, yep, I told you. We all knew it.
I kind of take that stance with the newer Final Fantasies, too.
Let me tell you guys about Brink. Everybody was losing their mind about that game, and I was the guy who went, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? This game looks like hot garbage. And it came out, and it was hot garbage. And there's a certain vindication there. You feel good. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, but you like shoving that shit back in people's faces.
Yeah, I do.
You're that type of guy.
I accept. Everybody likes it. I'm just the only one real enough to admit it. I would rather just have games come out and be good. Good games are never anything to be upset about.
I was happy that The Last of Us was as well received as it was.
Did you see they're doing a Last of Us movie now?
I saw a headline.
That got greenlit.
Well, so did the BioShock movie, so did the Halo movie, so did the World of Warcraft movie.
Coming off the heels of Uncharted and seeing like some of the first concepts or whatever for The Last of Us, it was just such a paradigm shift for Naughty Dog that I don't know, that I at first wasn't really certain on how it was going to land, but I'm super glad that it came out the way it came out.
Heard they're working on a new Uncharted. Read a headline this week.
Uncharted 4, we knew that for a long time.
Thinking about it, or they're starting production on it.
There's a trailer for it already.
Well, no gameplay. It's just it's like a camera panning over a map, and it's Drake's voice, and then
it's not
has
Drake's
the
voice.
music.
There was some bigwig involved in the Uncharted series got let go. I remember seeing the headline. Creative director, I think?
No, the writer left.
Was she a writer? I thought she was...
Yeah, she was the lead writer.
Okay.
Amy Hennig?
Yeah, it sounds like that might be right. I just glanced over it.
Wow, that's
I don't know the deets.
The fact that you know the lead writer's name off the top of your head bothers me.
Why? When you like a game, you learn shit about your game.
Who knows that stuff?
There were lots of like vignettes and stuff talking about like
Shikawa. Why do we know the name of the art director on Metal Gear?
With like Nolan North and yeah. And
like
then
it goes on and on.
You just watch this stuff and you just learn their names. And Amy Hennig is like, I don't know if she's the lead writer. I think she's creative director.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So I don't think it was her that was let go, but she had like a lot of everything that was good about Uncharted, from the performances to the voice actors, was through her. And so yeah, I knew that. Come on.
Uncharted
Eric?
PS4 writer Amy Hennig leaves Naughty Dog.
No, she is creative director, dude.
It says right here, fucking writer.
I don't know what shitty backwater fucking bullshit website you're looking at.
It's called IGN.
Yeah, okay, now I do know what shitty backwater website you're fucking looking at.
Amy Hennig, the creative director and writer, so therefore I'm not all wrong.
Creative director, okay.
And writer.
It says that she left?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the big scandal was they're like, The Last of Us creative director forced her out. But the story is like, no, she just left. You guys are being crazy.
That's weird.
Harrison writes in.
Because she was the driving force for Uncharted. Like, arguably the driving force that made Uncharted the way that made Uncharted.
Uncharted's own momentum will carry it forward from here
Sure,
on out.
yeah, and totally. It kind of writes itself now. And, like, the actors know what they're doing. And
Nolan North in a room just muttering to himself, no, for 6 hours. Harrison writes in, says, hello, MTP crew. Since I know that Swag enjoys Kanye West and Jay-Z and Kevin enjoys only the most gangsta of gangsta raps, I was curious if any of you listen to any other rappers or rap groups like Pusha T. Okay, there's a lot here. I don't know if I can pronounce these. Kendrick Lamar. Is that one? Or is that two? Kendrick Lamar. Yep. EIP? ELP? LP? EIP? IP? Or maybe even Death Grips. As a fellow Kanye fan, I was wondering what Swag's favorite Kanye album is. I appreciate you guys coming back on a regular schedule. Keep on keeping on.
Why do people ask me about Kanye West?
So let's not even just
talk about him nonstop.
I don't not talk about him nonstop.
Yeah, you don't not talk about him nonstop.
There's a lot of negatives in that one, but I don't know.
I don't listen to any rap. No rap at all. Run DMZ when they did Walk This Way with Aerosmith.
Run DMZ?
Did you just say DMZ?
DMC. Devil May Cry.
My favorite Kanye West album. Let's just say the first one. It's called College Dropout. OG Kanye, sure. His new stuff's real good too. I listened to 808s and Heartbreaks lately, and I think I used to love that album, but now I think that album sucks. I listened to Kendrick Lamar. He's really good. And Big Sean is one of the newest guys I've listened to. How about them hip-hops?
It's a lot of hip-hops.
Yeah, that's it, huh? Not a big rap.
What kind of music do you guys listen to? Matt, I know you listen to classic rock.
Rock and roll, buddy.
Modern rock?
Yeah, a little bit of new stuff.
What's a station you guys? What do you guys play? Classic rock?
Yeah, we're today's best rock and killer classics. So
there was just an announcement that Queen is coming to Edmonton.
Yep, June 25th, and then Calgary June 26th.
And who's the guy that's gonna?
Adam Lambert, who was the runner-up. He was a runner-up at American Idol. He is Filipino, I think.
You think he'll do okay?
He looks almost. Yeah, he sounds
what?
alright.
Adam Lambert's not Filipino, is he?
No.
I thought isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he's like white. He's like
I'm thinking David Archuleta.
Caucasian white.
Isn't he? I was watching a video of him. I thought he had.
He had a little bit of color to him.
He looks exactly like Bruno Mars.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he
totally does. He's like
6'4".
Some kind of Hispanic. You know, he's a little darker skinned there. I don't know.
He
really
is
what
not even close to dark skinned.
Wow. I think maybe he's Zulu tribe, Africa.
He kind of looks just like a douchebag with a spray tan.
Oh, There's a picture on here.
Yeah, no, I see him now.
Where he's wearing this fur coat, and he sort of looks like just a douchebag Khal Drogo.
Yeah,
he wears eyeliner.
No, he is white. You're right. He is white ass white.
Is he gonna do good?
I listen to some of his stuff.
Dead?
Like it's a different sound. I don't know if you're way into Queen because you like Queen, you're gonna listen to it and be like, "What is this bullshit? This is not Queen." But if you just want to go to a rock show, it's okay. I don't know. There's also a Queen tribute band called God Save the Queen coming to town about the same time.
Wonder
They
which one will
sound-
sell more tickets.
Well, probably real Queen, but God Save the Queen sounds more like Freddie Mercury Queen than Adam Lambert does.
Well, the difference is that Adam Lambert is probably not trying to sound like Freddie Mercury.
He sounds pretty close. Like, if you didn't know what you were listening to, you'd probably never know.
Douchebag Khal Drogo.
Yeah, I don't know. Music. It's a music podcast. Ask us about the Kanye West video. You want to ask us about rappers? Ask us about Wu-Tang fucking Kung Fu. What was that one?
Wu-Tang's for the kids.
The Wu-Tang fighting game for the PS1. Ask us about 50 Cent, Blood on the Sands. You know, the rap video games. Prappa. The rapper.
We didn't mention this at all, but Eric or Kevin, did you see that new Batman trailer?
I don't care.
No?
Yes, thank
That's
you. I don't
neat.
care.
You talking
either.
about a
Thank you,
game?
Eric.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Batman Arkham Knight.
I could not give
cool.
any less
How many
fucks about
Batman
that.
Arkham games have played?
Yeah.
Man, that's neat.
Such a shitty series.
No, it's a fine series.
no.
It's just they gotta stop making them now. There's too many. It's getting flooded. Harley looks weird. I don't like how Harley looks in the trailer.
That's all I hear from your mouth these last couple weeks, Matt.
Yeah, like I said, video games.
Last of Us 2. Last of
I'm
Us 2
out.
too many.
I told you,
They
I'm
need to
out
stop
on
making
video
those
games.
things.
You didn't play Arkham Origins, or
Yeah,
did
I
you?
did. Yeah, I did.
That game, that has been 3 carbon copies of the same game. Like, yeah, there's a little different.
I
Hey, it
agree.
opened up a bit.
I absolutely
How are
agree.
you not burnt out on that by now? You're
Origins,
just so
I
in love with
mainlined,
Batman.
I mainlined Origins, and I did not play any of the shitty side stuff, and I don't plan on it.
Yeah,
It's just
60
that
bucks well spent.
I like those. Yeah, that was worth my $60. Definitely, that was a great Batman story.
You're so
I made a
tired.
good
You're so
Batman story.
tired on these games that you don't want to do any of the side content in these open world games that are primarily side content.
I'm in it for the Batman story, and that was a great story. And with this new one, sure, more Batman. Yeah,
You like Batman.
I like Batman, and that's the thing. Hey,
I
tell
don't.
tell your buddy behind you, I like him. I don't know if he can hear me.
He says, "Look at." He says, "Shut the fuck up." Look at his arms. He's pissed.
Crossing his arms.
Yeah, he's
Stop.
sick and tired.
Stop making these games.
games. Yeah.
Batman's kind of a prick.
Whatever. Play. You know what? Play your fucking 5th Arkham game. I don't give a shit. Do what
Thanks,
you want.
man.
Do
Thanks,
what you
man.
want. All right. I'll buy it and play it. Also.
Next email.
No, that's all the emails. Let's count it there. Let's put a cap on it. Podcast@ManaTank.com is the email address. You want to write some emails in? Hey, if you think Batman Arkham Knights looks like total bullshit, why don't you write in? Why don't you write in and tell us? Podcast@ManaTank.com.
We should, I don't know if we've gotten any new listeners or new subscribers, but we should encourage them to rate and review.
Sure, yeah, you can rate and review us on iTunes if you like.
Because I was looking at the thing, and we've only got, for like the 4 or 5 years that we've been doing this, we've only got... Actually, how long have we been ManaTank?
Almost
It's
3
25 years, 99 billion served.
There's only 70 reviews out of that 99 billion.
I was gonna say on the cafe, on the McCafe, on the Canadian store. There's only it's separate. It's dumb.
Is it
It
separate?
separates the reviews. Yeah, it separates the
Oh.
reviews. It's really stupid. But yeah,
There's a
head on
lot
iTunes
in
and
American store.
rate and review us, man. But only if you're gonna
Please.
give us 5 stars. If you're gonna give us 1 star, don't waste your time. That's it for the show. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. I'm the Matt Eads. I hate video games now. I'm out on video games.
I am OJ_A_, and I still love video games.
But not Twitter handles, apparently.
Hey, I'm Dinner Dangles, and I like video games, but I hope Blizzard all get killed in a horrible, horrible
Blizzard?
blizzard.
Yeah, nice. Way to
Irony.
wrap that up.
I'm Honest Pizza, and I probably won't play a lot of games the next couple weeks.
Because you're going to have a baby.
You're going to
Yeah.
be playing the hardest game of all.
Wipe the butt.
Not being a white trash family.
That'll be tough because I'm pretty white trash.
Mm-hmm. Look at all you got, like all those old guitars behind you. That's how it starts, man. I'm telling you. Start with the old guitars. Soon there's
NASCAR
gonna
is not far away.
be there's gonna be a dishwasher with no door on it, just sitting on your lawn.
Well, what do you think we store our clothes in?
There you go.
Not the
oven.
dressers.
Yeah. There might not be a show next week because I'm going to be back in E-Town. Or there might be... Who knows? There may or may not be a show in some capacity. There's some talk of maybe trying to do a dumb PlayStation 4 Playroom thing.
Let's try that.
Yeah, maybe. We'll let you know. Just, watch the Twitters. That's how we keep in touch with our audience. Follow us if you haven't, and we'll let you know. See everybody next week, and if not then the week after. Yeah, rock and roll, buddy. Throw the horns up. Ow!
Thanks for listening.